Hello, everybody. Welcome. Tim Bartz and
Sarah Davis.
We are here, and audio looks like we're going good and everything. So, thank you, everybody. See, a lot of people are in there already. And we'll get more people in there as we do our little introduction here. How's our camera angle? We didn't test it out before we started here. So,
no, we did not.
All right. Chair looks like. Anyway, so welcome in.
Yours?
Yeah, I look like I'm taller than you.
You are taller than me.
All right, so we are here. So welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this is episode 76 now. Started numbering them. I don't know why, but I guess I just stopped in the title. But anyway, we're going to get in and talk about some things here today. Hopefully, we get some Maverick people and Bronco and EV people. Hopefully, I didn't drive people away from the Bronco and the Maverick by looking at the title. But we're going to talk about all things in today's episode. So hopefully, everybody's ready for that. Don't forget, we are recording this as a podcast. So we have several different applications there, including you should be able to find this on Apple. Although somebody is saying they're struggling to find it on Apple. Again, search for FordVideoGuy without the space. I think it's without the space on most of them, and you should be able to find it. Of course, if you're listening on one of the podcasts that you're finding, you can watch this live with us. A link to that is in the description. So I'll have a link to the video first. The podcast depends on what version you're watching or listening to, so you can always check that out. Don't forget too, if you are new, I appreciate if you hit that like button down below. If you are on mobile, you might have to minimize the chat if you've got the chat open to hit that like button, but I appreciate all the likes. That really helps out. That's a free way to help promote the channel. If you want. Also, if you're new, don't forget to hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell, because if you're looking for Ford content and information, I think we're a great source for that information. Trying to drop all the knowledge onto those that are looking to get a new Ford vehicle, whatever vehicle it is, keeping you updated on ordering and that kind of stuff with these videos. All right. Without further ado, speaking of being able to do something free to help promote it, if you want to be a member, Sarah.
Yes. Sorry, guys. You need to go down to by that subscribe button is the join button. It's $5 a month. But if you are an Apple user, you have to do something a little different. So you're going to go to your desktop web browser, or you're going to go to your web browser, and then up there in the link bar, there's the little A and big A. Click on that and request desktop website, and from there you'll be able to see it.
So basically, it won't Apple on your Apple phones and iPads. You can't see that subscribe button, that join button there, unless you're in a desktop mode for a website. So that's how you'll find that. So, got our first donation in here, Lene. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Tim. You don't look older.
Nope. I did. I think we about burned the house down. They Sunday they put 52 candles on this it wasn't a regular cake either. It was
it was cream puff in a pan.
Cream puff in a pan, and so about all the whipped cream on it was melted. But it took me a couple times to blow them all out. But
Mom had to help.
Yep, needed a little help. Anyway, so speaking of the membership and such, of course, we don't ask anybody to be members to want to, but if you want to help support the channel, thank you very much. We appreciate all of our members, and we throw some videos in for our members. We do a nice lot walk, something we do every week, as well as some other content. Should be dropping a video from the St. Louis Auto Show. We walked the auto show this week, probably tomorrow. That's already uploaded and everything, and so if you want that, that's some other content. So we'll do some things as we go to do travel and go to auto shows and such. We'll do some other content for our members as well. So there you go. Sarah needs more Red Bull. It says, got your Red Bull. I have an energy drink I'm not going to tell you what type, but it's not G Fuel in the old cup.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
he said Red Bull goes great with Adderall. It's the breakfast of champions. Well, Adderall calms me down because I have ADHD, so it calms me and makes me focus.
So, all right. So, give a shout out to all the different members we have in the chat here today. So, who we got
a new member.
Yeah.
Up here. He joined before we went live.
Oh, Tom.
Tom Larson.
All right. Welcome in, Tom. Appreciate it.
Yes. Looks like we have Dan Foster, a Ridgeview, is in here. Michael Stove 16. Good evening. Sarah Davis, Tim Bart's Ridgeview, all the members and non-members in the chat. Let's see. James Finch. Sarah doesn't need wings.
Yeah.
Yep. Mark Shee is in here.
Vols is in here.
No, Vols
Ghost
44.
Stain. EMGT
Alan
302.
says he's going to the auto show in Portland, Oregon on the 3rd.
There's a lot of them going on right now in the spring,
Yeah.
so kind of hard to hit them all there. I know Houston has one coming up. Saw that. So anyway, let's see. We got Vincent is in there. He said hi. And Jolly Green. Hope you're enjoying your Mach-E. We have Vicky Dell in there.
Vols asked, did the Packers parka keep you dry in the Saturday snow?
Yes, it did.
It did.
I was wearing it. It was cold and it was snowing. I had the hood up and everything.
Yeah.
We got Jerry in here. All right. Well, thank you to all the members. Appreciate you guys being in here. Let's go ahead and open the Q&A. So we're going to open up the Q&A for you. What we really want to do is put all your questions that you have for us for Q&A time. We're going to have it after we talk about our topic. You can see the agenda right over there, just to my left, and to the on your right. If you're looking, if you're watching, it's on your right. But speaking of that, I really hate when people video and it's backwards. That's like my pet peeve. I hate that. I'm like, those cameras have the inverted. You can invert that anyway. So yes. So you can see the agenda over there, and you'll know what we're going to talk about. But go ahead and open that Q&A. Make sure if you have questions, pop them in that Q&A, because that way we can make sure we get your questions answered. Sarah's going to be doing that when we get to the Q&A section. We'll open it up now so you can put your questions in there, and then we'll go through those.
So you're going to want to see the blue box.
Yep.
And then ask something, and that's how we want you to do the questions now, so that way we're not looking for at Sarah Davis or at McArthur.
We'll go ahead and highlight those questions as we talk about them too, so you'll know what question we're answering and such, which will help out. So we'll have that open, but we'll get to that in a little bit, not yet, but that's where you want to pop your questions in there. Keep chatting in the chat. We love getting that and having you guys chat and everything, and chat with each other and everything else, and I'll be monitoring that as well. During the Q&A time. So there you go. Also, don't forget, if you we do have merch. There's a discount going on right now. Well, not right now. Starting Thursday through Sunday, 20% off. I didn't see that. 20% off.
I will. So. I'm going to give you a hint, guys. So I went to go order on my phone, and the prices were like $10 more, or like twice as much, if you were on a laptop. So I went to my desktop, and it was like on the backpack, it was $10 more on my phone, and it even had like a code A, and then the backpack, and then on the desktop it didn't have the A, and it was $10 less, and then the stickers were half the price.
Weird. All right.
So
well, there you go.
Look on your desktop.
And click on the link. I think that might help too. So anyway,
right.
So we just put that in there because people asked for it. So we're not really looking. Those aren't marked up much. So from what the cost is. So anyway, allows somebody else to do that for us and get us that out. So recent videos this last week, we had the 23 Bronco ordering video that we kind of did. We talked about in a live stream, but I felt like I needed to do a separate video to that as well, because there's a couple things I thought about that I wanted to include as well. So that's why I did a separate video on it. And we're working through our way through the Expedition Complete Guide videos. So the Limited went live actually this morning because I forgot to have it go live last night. Sarah had it ready for me. It's my fault. I like to have those go live in the evening. Looks like we get the best views that way. And also we'll be working on tomorrow the Expedition Timberline video to go live, and the King Ranch probably the next day, and then I just need to record the Platinum, and then we'll get through the Expedition video. So
and we have a member video dropping.
Yes, the member video. I mentioned that a second ago.
Okay.
And then on the FordVideoGuy channel, if you follow that channel, should be linked in the description. If you follow that channel last week, I'm going to try to do a weekly video. It'll be released either Sunday night or Monday. It seems like right now I'm not really having a lot of time to edit it on Sunday like I thought I would. So maybe a Monday morning drop on that. But there's this last week, yesterday, I did one on the Tesla Y versus the Mach-e for $55,000 or less. You can get one. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit. You can get one for either one of those for 55 or less, but we're going to talk about what do you get for that price. And then next week, I'm going to talk about the Rivian R1T versus F-150 Lightning. Can you get a Lightning for under $80K, which is your tax credit? So, which we'll talk about that this week. But if you want to watch that channel, we'll be doing some stuff over there. And then we'll be on Facebook Live, or I will, Thursday night as well. So let's go ahead. And don't forget about the channels that we promote. They're in the description as well. So if you want to check them out, All Train Nation and Johnny's Car Cam Reviews, watched both of their videos last night. Had a lot of fun. I didn't chat a lot in All Train Nation. I was trying to do some work, but listened in and had some great conversation on there. So he's introduced somebody into his live stream. So, all right. Good dealer moment.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
Read it.
Hi, Tim. Thank you for your weekly updates. Much appreciated. I always feel like people focus on the negative and don't appreciate and recognize good service. So I wanted to share some great service I recently received. I live in I cannot say that word, West Middle, Tennessee. Last Tuesday, I bought a new 2022 F350 Lariat 6.7 that someone had special ordered but canceled once the vehicle arrived. I live about an hour from Peppers Ford in McKinsey, Tennessee, but I dropped everything and rushed up there upon notification. They knew that I wanted a spray-in bed liner and gooseneck installed, so they made that part of the deal. While waiting for installation to happen, I drove the truck for a few days and got the deep sleep error message on the Ford app. I had to drive an hour to the town, different than where the dealer was at, for the install appointment and arrange a ride home. Here's the great service. Instead of me driving to the install location to pick up the truck, then drive 25 minutes to the dealer, then wait for the update to fix the deep sleep issue, the dealer offered to pick up the truck for me from install shop, drive it back to the dealership and do the service, and then call me so I can just take my truck home with no waiting or extra driving. I really appreciate them going the extra mile from adding the bed liner gooseneck to arranging the logistics. It saves an hour and a half or more of my time, and they didn't have to do that either part. Simple, smooth, solved. Great job to Peppers Ford and my sales guy Adam, who fended off other buyers while I made the drive to buy the truck. Important side note, they sold me the truck for MSRP instead of jacking up the price. Best regards, Paul.
All right. Awesome. Another good dealer there. So,
Yes.
And McKinsey, Tennessee. There you go. If you're in that area, you know a good dealer there. So there you go.
If you're asking questions, and we haven't had anyone do any repeat questions, but we may not answer the questions immediately right now. We might wait and save some of them because we might go over them later on. So if you just wait, we may answer it, but we will get through all of the questions in the Q&A.
Yeah, so what's that blue box mean? That is for questions. So drop your questions in that blue box, and we will get those questions answered for you. You'll only probably be able to see your question in that box, not everybody's questions.
You can't see any questions in there. I'm the only one that can see the questions.
Yeah, but they can see, I think they can see their question, can't they?
No.
Anyway, so drop your question in there, and we'll answer those, but that's what that blue box is for, so drop your questions in.
So if you can drop it just once, that would be very helpful, so we're not
because we are going to go down through them all, so we will answer every question. So you only have to drop that question in there once, and it's in there. And they may drop it because they might realize if it's not in there, they may not realize it's in there. So we get that. So all right. After that, let's talk about some scheduling information. You know what? Before we do that, I don't know if she's in the chat or not, but we had a special vehicle arrive today. I do have some pictures of it.
Oh,
We got a first Bronco Sport Heritage Edition show up today. So it is here. It's at the dealership. Needs to get set up yet. We've had a lot that dropped in the last couple days. So along with your sisters is here as well. So pretty cool. So
it's gorgeous.
Heritage Edition. It was locked up. Didn't get pictures of the inside. But there you go.
I'm not one for wanting a Bronco Sport, but it is gorgeous and lovely.
Robin's Egg Blue has the white race red lettering. So there you go. Kind of a few little photos there. And she said that
Stacy says she's here.
All right.
Stacy, you're going to love it. You are so lucky.
Yep. I only drove it on a couple 100 miles. No, just kidding. Didn't drive it. We don't do that here. So, but I think she's told us already in our member chat live stream that we do on Fridays that I'm going to be able to do a video for you guys. So on her vehicle. So, which is kind of cool. So we'll put it in the building and might do it outside. Depends on how the weather is. But anyway, so there you go. So wanted to highlight that. We got some other photos of some other Mavericks that are here, but we'll get into that when we get to some of the Maverick content. All right, so speaking of the scheduling notes and information here, 23 Mustang is doing March balance out scheduling this week. So if you have a 23 Mustang order in, they're looking to fill in the March balance out. So they are finishing out the production of the Mustang. Have not seen when order banks are going to open up for the 24. I know there's some stuff going out that it's supposed to be in January, but they're not open. They're going to let us know ahead of time. They won't just drop it and open it all of a sudden. Hopefully, Ford promised at the last dealer meeting that they wouldn't launch a vehicle or the order banks wouldn't open up without having the build and price on the website. So we'll see if that's the case or not. For the 24 Mustang, as well as getting the order guides ahead of time to dealers would be nice too, but we'll just have to see. The 23 Escape, it says no U.S. stock scheduling for those. Base and hybrid orders are retails only. Well, it says no scheduling, but there's notes. Okay, so no scheduling for the Escape, even though we do have some allocations. 23 Bronco Sport, it does say cleanup scheduling. What that means is they're trying to fill those last holes. So they're looking for specific orders that can help fulfill what they have parts for to fill in those last slots. That's what that means. It does have a side note over here. Stock and retail orders will commit 126 within constraints. That's, again, trying to fill those holes, right? Trailer tow and cargo management full through 4/17. So if you have a trailer tow or cargo management, you probably won't get yours scheduled for a little while. Badlands and Heritage Limited orders will not be scheduled due to front camera constraints. So 23 Edge is not scheduling this week. 23 Bronco. And for those that want to know the Lincolns, they're going to go along with these because I'm not probably going to share the Lincolns anymore. We're finishing out where we're going to be on how much longer we're going to be a Lincoln dealer. We are planning to sign the contract to end our franchise for that. But we do want to fulfill the people that have Lincolns on order before doing that. So we're trying to figure that out because we don't want to send them to a dealership, because usually if a dealer wants to, if they work with us, they'll allow us, if the order is out there, to have it drop shipped here so we can at least deliver it to our customers and have them being the selling dealer, which we're fine with that. We just want to take care of our customers and not have them have to drive across the country. Most of our Lincoln buyers are local. And so that's what we're looking for. So that's what we're trying to do there. Anyway, so if you know, Escape, Corsair and Escape are built the same kind of scheduling, same plant. So no scheduling for the Escape means Corsair. Edge, Nautilus are the same. So no scheduling for those either. So 23 Bronco, specialty scheduling only. Heritage, base trim, the manual transmission scheduling only. So they did that last week as well. And we had 3 base models that scheduled. So that there you go. And we'll talk about some commodity constraints later. They actually gave us numbers on how many orders there are, and I don't know if I can share that or not, but I will say that about all the Everglade orders are scheduled, from what I could tell, other than just a couple. So that's pretty good. And we'll talk more about Bronco in just a second in our Is It True section. 23 Explorer, no U.S. commitment, so no scheduling. That would go for Aviator 2 probably. It does, it's not scheduling. So 23 Expedition, this is February and March cleanup scheduling. Again, trying to fit those last slots for us. We had a lot of our Expedition scheduled last week, 12 of them. So all of our last retails got scheduled. Does say don't forget to add the heavy duty trailer. It's the same note as last week about the trailer tow package for the 303A and the 400A. I did take a couple of those off. Standard wheel for the Platinum 600A is not available. Again, select the 22-inch polished wheel. The dual exhausts says standard, which is standard on the 300A and the Timberline. It's not available. Extended length is not available. Mahogany seats not available, and the 202A and 301A, sorry, not available. So 301A would be your limited, and 202A would be your XLTs trim. So 23 Maverick does say cleanup scheduling. So again, they're going to try to fill in those last slots where they need to. At the end of last week, it was really weird. On Friday, we had a bunch of our Mavericks previewing on Friday out of the blue. We've got 2 scheduled out of the 25 allocations we had left, and then they 23 of them were previewing on Monday, and I thought, well, maybe they're going to schedule those. Just no. So I don't know if they're going to try to get those last 23 done or not, but I think next week is still going to be a week for January's allocations to be used. So we'll we'll have to see. So it does say on those that trailer tow, the key constraints is trailer tow hitch, splash guards, and trifold bed cover. This week they added the load box bed liner. So I assume that's the tray style. Not sure. And then, of course, it says only retail schedule. I'm not sure why they need to put that in there because it's about all they have time for anyway. 23 Ranger, no scheduling this week. 23 F-150, February production week of 220. So that means they're scheduling for the week of 220 is what they're looking for. And again, some of the same notes, except they're limiting some of the engines. Looks like limited on the 2 kilowatt power inverters, the moonroofs, and the power tailgate. So they're very limited in how many they're going to pull of those options if your order has it. Also, it does say 3.3 liter, 5.0, 2.7 engines and crew cab are going to be very limited in how many they pull. And then they says they need regular and super cab orders. So there you go, which kind of weird to hear them say that. 23 Super Duty, they are scheduling. Both plants are scheduling. So the Kentucky and the Ohio plant scheduling. Don't forget, King Ranch Platinum and Limited are job 2. So there's some other constraints there. It does say limited scheduling on the F-250 with the high capacity trailer tow package. That's that 535 option. Or the trimmer package and F-350 single rear wheel due to the axle constraints. And then limited scheduling on a 360-degree camera. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. Transconnect van and wagon, no scheduling. Transit, March production weeks of 313 and 320, which means if your order gets scheduled, it's going to be for one of those 2 weeks. And then same constraints they've had the last several weeks. If you need me to talk about those, we can. 23 Mach-e, scheduling for March scheduling. It does say schedule cleanup scheduling for both retail and stock orders. So, and we are seeing stock orders now because they're getting most of the retail scheduled out. Which, you know, talk about pricing on that. Well, we'll get into that when we get to the EV stuff. But there you go. All right, on to anything I need to address. No questions?
Not really. Just
Not really.
talking about aftermarket parts. We have Niles.
We have Niles in there. All right. So we'll talk about dealer news updates. We have the Ranger order banks are closing. So January 26th is the last day you can order a 2023 Ford Ranger. Again, still have any confirmation on when we can order 24s. Hoping they see one at the Chicago Auto Show when we're there. And then also as a note, the expiration for the COVP is February 9th. So COVP is still important. It does say in here we encourage dealers to utilize the COVP for all retail orders, but this will not be part of the retail scheduling criteria. What's going to happen with this is COVP is very important as getting any kind of offers or price protection. So if the prices ever go up, and we'll talk about a few models that actually did went up recently, and so that COVP is what locks you in to those prices. So you want to make sure your dealership is doing that for you. It does say in here, WebDo will allow dealers to modify specs on existing retail orders after the retail order bank has closed, but it does say the body and PEP codes cannot be changed. So your body code would be 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, and then also your trims is your PEP code. So XL, XLT, Lariat, that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure you're locked into those because those cannot be changed later. So there you go. And then another order bank that's closing is on the Escape, believe it or not, the Escape plug-in hybrid, which I'm not surprised by that. They have more orders than what they can build right now anyway. So those are closed. January 30th is when it'll close, I should say. And then COVP deadline is February 13th for those orders. And again, the same thing with those. Body and PEP codes cannot be changed after you order. And so there you go. But there's only one body code on the plug-in hybrid anyway. So there you go. And then there's only one trim technically because hybrid now, the plug-in hybrid is its own trim this year. All right. Speaking of prices going up and making sure you get those locked in by having the COVP done, there are some prices that did go up last week on the 19th of January. So the Transit, E-Transit, Transit Connect, and then on the 24th, the medium truck and the E-Series went up for those fleet ones. So how much did they go up? So the Transit increased their destination delivery charge by $100. Also, they increased the cutaway and chassis cab prices by $500. And then eTransit added $100 to their destination delivery charge. Transit Connect added $200 to theirs, a little further. And then also they increased the van price by $1,310 and the wagon price by $1,240. And then your commercial vehicles, E-Series, medium truck, increased their destination delivery by 200 and the motorhome by 300. So we never order any of those. Not many of those anymore. So there you go, price increases. So again, we're seeing that happen. So as prices go up, you want to make sure your dealership is doing, you want to make sure that you get a copy of your order sheets, and you want to get a copy of your DORAs. And the reason you want to get a copy of the DORA, that's the order acknowledgement. So that's how you, that's a receipt that Ford saw your changes or that your order's in there. So you want to try to ask for that from your dealership, because I've seen a lot of people on the Lightning forums saying my dealer's not, doing it. They don't even know how to, they said they can't process it. They're charging me the price that it is now. How do I get them to charge the other price? That says, well, it's pretty easy if you can tell them to get the DORA. So, and what's great now is even if they didn't print a DORA when you ordered online, you can get one now. So your inventory specialist, your general sales managers, your general manager at the dealerships, they can all now print the DORAs from when that person ordered. So if they put in their order number and their body code, that's all they need. They can actually pull the DORA and they can see all the DORAs that were any changes to it. They can be able to print any of those. We've had some that we didn't receive the printouts the day after like we normally do, and we've been able to go in and get those DORAs from some of our orders that we didn't, for some reason, didn't get the printout from Ford overnight. So we just had them reprinted. So that can be done. You want to make sure they look at that and they pull that up. So anyway. Moving on, they did, of course, we already knew this because they sent out an information to the dealers, but now they have an EFC, which means it's official from Ford on the Bronco order modification private offer. So that's now in writing for us, so we know what to look up and find this. I always keep copies of these, so if your dealership is struggling to find the information, just email me. I can email it to you pretty easily. So here's something to note is it says dealers will receive a list of eligible orders the week of 1/8/117. We received all of ours. So we know which of our orders are receiving this private offer and are able to go ahead and get this. Also says that dealers will need to contact the impacted unscheduled retail order holders. We're actually not doing that. We're doing something a little differently because we don't have a lot of Bronco orders left unscheduled. We feel like ours are going to get scheduled. So we're not really concerned about it. Because we don't have a lot. So anyway, but here's the things that they need to do, and they do have the date. March 7th is when customers need to select this. Now, they did give instructions to dealers on how to go in there and put into the COV website what their choice of option is if they're going to make any changes to their order. If they're not going to make any changes, you don't have to do anything. But it does say you need to go in there and say, hey, I'm going to remove all the constraint commodities from my order. I'm going to change my current wild track order to an alternate trim without any of the constraints. There you go. And then customer can't switch from four-door to two-door to gain that. Some people are thinking, well, if I go from four-door to two-door, I can still keep my hardtop and then I'll just lose the other stuff. No, you can't do that. They're going to cancel their order and they're going to buy an in-stock order. We had somebody do that this week. And we'll talk about, is it true? Whether or not those are compatible with each other. Also to cancel the order and buy another Ford vehicle that's available. Either order a Ford vehicle or purchase one from a dealer lot. So anyway, so you got to make those choices by the 7th if you're going to make any of those changes. So there you go. So surely though, if you decide to cancel, they should be able to cancel later. So I mean, especially if one hasn't become available at a dealer lot, why would you want to make that decision to cancel my order when a dealer doesn't have one yet? So we had a wild track order come in. So we contacted all of our wild track unscheduled order holders and said, hey, would you like to take this one instead of yours? You're going to get the $2,500 offer. So anyway, we'll talk during the is it true compatibility and such. All right, Super Duty, there are some product offering changes. So Super Duty got hit with one now because of constraints. You guys know the story now if you've been watching the live stream. So certain orders with for the 23 model year Super Duty chassis cabs that originally included the Ford Pro Upfit integration system will be delivered without this feature. You'll get a $400 credit on that, and then also you'll need to make sure you add the option code 18Y to remove that. So the home integration system, again, another thing that's a new feature, just like the onboard scales that they're removing on the Lightnings, that is a new feature for this year that is not going to be available already, and it's just started, right? So anyway, so that's one. And then also on the F-150, the center high mounted stoplight camera. So on the back of the cab, that light up there, a third brake light, the cab lights up there, that's your center high mounted stoplight. On the 360-degree camera systems, there's a camera on there. I actually used mine. What's really cool in the Lightning is you can, and I'm sure on the F-150 too, is while you're driving down the road, you can actually look into the cab, which is kind of cool. So if you got something back there and make sure it didn't fly out, you can. But it does say that certain 23 F-150s will be equipped with a center high mounted stoplight camera removal, 63R. So it says existing 23 model year F-150 XLT, Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum Limiteds, and Tremor orders with the optional or standard 360-degree camera package that have not been built will have option code 63R added to the order on January 26th. So on Thursday, they're going to add that option to those. So basically, they're going to still be able to get all the other 360 cameras. You will not have the one on the back of the cab. So you will lose that one. And then it does say you'll get the $175 credit for that. So sometimes I kind of laugh at some of the credits. I'm like, some don't really equal up to what it would take to put that in their vehicle. All right. Also, last memo I want to talk about, I know I've talked about a bunch. The Ford has updated their websites for the new recognition program. So if you wanted to get military rebate and such, you went to Ford salutes those who save.com or something. Now it's one place. They're all in one location. It's Ford recognizes you. Ford recognizes you with the letter U.com. So that is the website you'll go to. That'll be the main site. And then on there, there'll be several different programs. And military one, you click on it for the military. So it'd be Ford recognizes you.com/military. So that's where you would go now. So that website has launched. It says the website will go live on 1/23/23. So it went live yesterday. So this came out yesterday. So there you go. New website for those recognition programs. So it's college student, Farm Bureau, military, first responder. So those all have their own individual sites, individual pages within that site. So there you go. Okay. Y'all been tired of hearing me talk for a while. So there we go. So Sarah, I felt bad. She's just sitting there because he's like, well,
I'm reading. All right. I'm watching their conversation. Vicky Dell asked to mention her vehicle.
Yeah, I don't know. I assume that it's waiting to get the parts for the recall, I assume at this point, but otherwise I don't know much else. But again, without a car deal, I'm assuming you guys went ahead and started the credit apps and everything to create that car deal, because if it doesn't show that there's a deal on the vehicle, they won't order the parts for it until the last recalls. Stock orders are the last one to get recalls. They're going to get them to customers that have their vehicles before that. But if it's a vehicle that hasn't been delivered like yours, we need them. Without that car deal, we can't have that done. So I assume that's all taken care of. I know Darren and Kevin, they're all in charge of that. So, and that deal. So anyway, that's about all I know on that. So, all right. And then, okay, moving on. A couple other reminders that weren't dealer news updates, but some things that I noticed this week and I wanted to kind of remind people of. One of them is we did notice that the 2023 F-150 Lightning Wave 7 invites went out last week. We had several of our customers receive those, but it's not showing up on the website for dealers. Normally it would show in there, hey, it'd show us who received our Wave invite. I sent an email to them. Haven't got anything back yet. Not surprised. Yeah, so those, we don't know who received them yet, but we've gotten a couple orders, which is really cool for a couple of our customers. But other dealers may not notice that, so just know that those went out. So be looking for your inboxes to confirm those orders if you receive them for your other dealers. Also, something to talk about is the Maverick cargo management discount options. So I wanted to kind of point out that don't forget, you can get that discount package for that cargo management system. So you get the bed rail system and you get the spray and bed liner. So I just want to remind people that look on your order sheets, because you should see a discount of $225. And what you should not see is a dealer installed option for cargo management or cargo bed. If it says cargo bed, whatever, that is not the same thing. It is not a dealer installed option. It's a standalone option.
Oh, the cargo rails.
Yes. So
Those are the rails that go on top that would
Yes.
you would mount bike racks or
kind of like this.
yes, but they're lower.
Yeah, I want to highlight this and just a little bit, come back to this, because that is something we're doing here that we can do for you, but it's something similar to that. So it goes on top. So that is a dealer installed option, which, by the way, right now is on late availability. So I noticed on a couple of our orders that had a material hold, it said unscheduled material hold, and I looked and both those orders had that, the crossbars, the bed crossbars from the factory that would be dealer installed here. And they were not going to be looked at for scheduling because they have that dealer installed option. So if you want yours scheduled, take that DIO off. And if you want the bed rail system, that is not the same as a DIO. Your dealership needs to be looking for the cleat tie down kit C. Cleat tie down kit C. That's what they need to be looking for. It is not under the dealer installed options or the DIOs. It's not under that section. So I just want to make sure people know this. Look at your order sheets. Look at them closely. All the dealer installed options are always they're on the right column towards the bottom. Down there, that's where you're going to always see the dealer installed options. It should not be listed in there. It should be listed up above in the other section. And then you should see a discount package of $225. So I want to remind people of that. But yeah, speaking of this though, check that out. You can, this is something that we're able to do here. So if you want those, that's basically what that allows you to do is put that tent on there. So if you want to take and put it on one of those rooftop tents, you can put it on these and you can attach the tent to this. And we have a customer that put this on there, Niles actually sent me this photo. And we did a retracts type of system, bed rails for a bed cover, right? And then this sits on top of that. So not sure, I assume this is the only kind of bed cover that this would work on. Of course, folding ones and such wouldn't work. But there you go. If you're wanting some sort of bed cover along with that, we have that option for you here. If you have your order with us and wanting that kind of thing, Niles is your guy. He can take care of that. So yeah, and bike racks, kayaks as well. Niles put that in there. So yes, so pretty cool there.
Can you put the tent on that?
I think so.
Yeah.
He said tent. Yeah, it allows tent, bike racks, and kayak racks. So,
awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we can get for you through aftermarket. There's a lot of options.
So that would give me the option to do how I want to build out to complete my Maverick, because I want those racks so I can put a tent or whatever I want on that and still have access with a bed cover.
And maybe Niles in the chat can tell us, can those come off easily? Are they something that can slide off?
Yeah.
Looks like they slide in there, so I'd assume so, but Niles will answer us in the chat. You can check that out and let us know. Also, the other thing is make sure if you have a customer because Ford allowed you to order this at the beginning, so your order, you may have another option if you have a Maverick that has a material hold. Unscheduled material hold is a status. If you had an EcoBoost FX4 package, it's not compatible with the black appearance package. Yeah. But it allowed you to order that at one time. So you'll need to make sure your customer takes one of those two off. So keep that in mind as well. So there you go. All right. So
Michael Orth, we have not been resending out sheets that have the discount showing, but if you would like that, you can certainly ask your salesman.
Because at the beginning, when that option was available, they didn't have the discount package in there showing. It will show now on any Doras and such. Yeah. We can always just pull a new order sheet in Dora for you, and it'll show that discount on there. So, or your dealer unless you're not working with us. Okay, couple Ford news updates that I want to talk about. We did see Maverick Truck Club had a link to an article from Mexico where they were adding a third shift to the Maverick plant for the Mavericks. Well, actually for the plant. They make Maverick and Bronco Sport there. But adding a third shift beginning in July. So that's actually good news. Some people in there, I just kind of point this out, some people in there were saying that, well, that wouldn't really help out the 2023 Maverick. I'm like, yes, it will, because if they started in July, you have July, August, September, probably even October. You'll probably have 4 months of production that they could ramp up there at the end with that. And hopefully they shut the plant down like in June, maybe do some training with them so that in July they can be, boom, up and running full steam and have good 4 full months to maybe get 10,000 units out instead of 7,500. So we'll just have to see, but that's an interesting news. So there you go.
Niles says that they are removable, but you'll invest about 30 to 45 minutes of time. This particular customer wanted a bike and kayak at the same time, along with the bed cover, which looks like it would be able to fit both.
There you go. Cool. All right. Also, something there's in the description. If you're wanting more information on Bronco, the Bronco brand manager is going to be on the live stream for Bronco Nation tomorrow night. So tomorrow night, I'm going to get on there too, 7 p.m. A link to their YouTube channel, to their stream page, where that video is already there, ready. It's scheduled out. Is in there right now. So it's you just if you search Bronco Nation, the Bronco Nation YouTube channel, you can find it. Just go to click on the live and you'll find it in there pretty easily. So definitely check that out if you want some information. So it sounds like to me, I don't think they will, because I've seen these lives from Ford reps, and I can tell you they're going to handpick what they're going to answer. They're not going to answer every question like we do here. I don't avoid a question. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you I don't know the answer, and I'll try to find it for you. But they won't do that. They're going to handpick the questions that they want to answer, so they won't answer them all. We know that. And they probably even have preloaded questions. They won't even answer what's going on in the chat. So just throwing that out there. We'll see. I might be surprised, but I'll be there. I'll let you know. Also, last article I want to talk about, these are all linked in the description. The Ford Authority dropped an article about the Ford's Pro CEO says that the LFP batteries that they're going to put in the EVs, the Mach-E and the Lightning, will actually be 10% cheaper, which is probably what they need to lower the price. Well, I'll talk about that in just a second. We'll get to that. All right, so just reading one little, the quote that he has in here. It says the battery process later this year, next year, we're launching LFP onto the Mustang Mach-E and the Lightning, said Ford Pro CEO Ted Canis, I think that's how you say it, while speaking at a recent Evercore utility conference. Roughly 10 to 15% less cost, not as dense chemistry, but allows for more durability, more cycles, so it looks like a good solution for those customers who are not looking for all the density and longer range of the NCM. So that says that's a big opportunity. So so if we can lower the cost, they need to bring that price down, which we're going to talk about in just a second.
I think the air conditioning turned on. I can feel it.
All right. So now, for Is It True this week, is the private offer you get, the $2,500 private offer for your Bronco offer, compatible with the private offer that you received for lowering your price? And the answer is yes, it is. So I mentioned earlier we had a person, a Bronco Wild Track edition that came in. We had somebody that had a Wild Track order, was looking to purchase that one, and he says, well, what would my price be? We knew that at least $2,500 would be available to take off of that. We contacted our inventory and sales specialist. We got some things hashed out with it, and we get both of those, which only makes sense, because when you think about it, if they were to order one right now and it would come in, not order one right now, but if their order would that they have on order would come in, they would get to take what the Wild Track people would get to take like $2,925 off that price, right? So it only makes sense if they take somebody else's order that's not exactly the way their order is, that they would get that plus $2,500 for the inconvenience of having to take somebody else's order and not theirs. Like this person, it wasn't the color they chose. It was missing an option that they originally had on their order, right? So it is an inconvenience, and that is, and Ford's saying that. So we did find out we are able to claim both of those on that order, and someone else I know on the Bronco 6G had confirmed that as well with their order. So that's good news, and that's only makes sense, right? So so now do keep in mind, don't forget on the when you do COVP that you will have to report your choice. If you do cancel your order or you take another order from another like at a dealer stock, like in that case, that kind of thing, that you would need to make sure that you note that in the COVP website for those orders. If any changes, if they take things off and that kind of stuff, they're going to need to do that. So we did also, Ford did send out a commodity versus retail estimation for each dealer. I'm going to show it real briefly. Well, looks like that. Not giving you all the information here. But we do have, they did update and let us know, just for dealers out there also that received this, we did reach out to our inventory and sales specialist about this as well. And it gave us a number. It's saying that this is your remaining allocations. For us, it says 58. And we're like a little confused by that because at the beginning of the model year, they told us we're going to get 80 new 23 orders. And so we asked them, we says, well, does the current ones that we have unscheduled are included in this? So we're going to have 58 minus the 20 that we have, only allowing 38 more orders. And they said, no, that 58 number is for new orders when the order banks open up. So we felt, okay, a little sigh of relief there. I understand why it wouldn't be 80 because it's probably later than they expected to open it back up. But that made us feel better. We can take 58 orders. And what's really cool about this is it shows the constraint for the wild track and for the different packages, what the number percentage is, which isn't the percentage it's in the commodity report that they give every week, by the way. And then it shows you how many estimated orders you could take for each of those constraints. So it mentions wild track in there. 20% is what it says in here. And so for us, we could, out of the 58, we could take 11 as wild tracks. Sasquatch package, it says 59%. And so it says we could take 34 orders that have a Sasquatch package on it out of the 58. Luxury package, and here the number is 33%. And this might be only the number for our dealership. It may not be the same number for every dealership. I don't know. And so in that case, we'd be able to take 19 orders with the luxury package. And then it says total hardtop 57%, including 2-door. So I'm assuming these are numbers for, again, the new orders, which is a different percentage than it would be for the carryover orders, maybe because the hardtop number is a lot lower than what they gave us. But according to this, we can only take 33 of our 58 orders as hard tops. So it kind of helps us manage our orders as we start receiving them and putting them into the order banks to kind of stay within this capacity so we could have all of them scheduled and built in the 23 model year. That's the goal and intent. So that way they don't carry over to 24. So anyway, but again, we feel pretty confident about ours because we have 20 orders left for us. For our Bronco orders, we have 20 that are unscheduled. We had 3 that canceled, not because of this. We actually had a couple that canceled for other reasons. They purchased other vehicles, couldn't get theirs was one of the reasons. So we actually had a couple people that canceled that had an order, and then we had the one person that took the wild track, so we canceled his order. So now that takes us down to 20 orders left to be scheduled outside of our Raptors and our Heritage Limited. Those are allocated differently, so those don't come out of that. So we have 20 left to schedule, and we have 10 allocations this month, and we have 13 next month. So we feel like between those 23, we're going to be able to fulfill our leftover 20 orders and then go into 23 good to go. So again, we feel pretty confident. So we're not as dire as stressing out over this as maybe some. I know that Granger has over 400 orders that they need to commit to, and they're not going to get 400 allocations in 2 months. It's not going to happen. But what they probably need to do is not take any orders for the rest of 23 so they can make sure they get all those taken care of, and they're probably going to have to pull some of 24. But that's really on them and what they're going to do. That's their call. But we do have some numbers in here for the commodity for the Bronco. The numbers are about the same. They haven't really changed any. Wild Track still 15%, but looks like not many people changed their orders. Still 29% in the order bank. Most of the other numbers are about the same. But it did give us some numbers of how many Heritages are on order. I don't know if I can share it, but so it's not a lot, but it is about 3% of the U.S. orders that are left. So I'll just say that. And then, I don't know if I could share the total number either. I could probably share the total number because I did my own math. They didn't give it to me. So there's about 37,000 orders that are still left in there, from what I can understand. So about 3% of those are Heritage editions. So, and then all the other numbers are the same percentages about what they were. Not too much difference. I think a lot of people at this point, they're not canceling. They're like, you know what? I want mine the way I want to order it. I'm not changing it. That's what I wanted. So anyway, so there you go. All right. Topic for this week, and this won't take long. We'll get into questions in just a second. We're going to talk about can you get a Ford EV? You ready for the question? Oh my word. Okay, so can you get a Ford EV under the tax credit? So the question is, can you, and I did a video on this on my Ford Video Guy channel, so on the mach-e, can you get a mach-e for under $55,000? So what you would need to do to get a mach-e and under $55,000, I think I have, here, let's pull up Ford's website. Can you see it? How's that looking? There we go. So go into Ford's website here, right? And let's go to the mach-e and kind of show you here what it takes, what you'd have to order to get a mach-e under 55,000 if you want the tax credit, and that's important to you. Is pretty much you have to order select. So if you go select, now the select does not allow you to have an extended range. It's only available in the standard range battery, which is not very much range there. So as you can see there, that range is 247 miles or 224 if you go with the E all-wheel drive. You can get either one of those under that price range, so it's a smaller amount of battery there. But you can go E all-wheel drive, and you're under that range. So if we go to some of these, let's just kick through some of these packages, because you can also, the standard on this is you do get Blue Cruise, but only for a trial period, but you can add the Blue Cruise for $1,900 to give it to you for 3 years for free. And that gives you, you can see their price is $51,495. So that's way under the 55,000, and that's pretty much everything else is going to be included. Now, if you go back to the premium, which I think is the best, it does start at $54,975. So if you look at that, you can only get the standard range rear-wheel drive 247 mile range for the premium. And what you're getting on the premium model there is you're getting a couple other features. That comfort and package that was optional in 22 is now standard on this. Also the Blue Cruise and all that's included in this as well for that price. Something else to note on that, the pricing that you look for your tax credit is the MSRP before destination and delivery. So that is something I found out. Ford had sent that information out, was the destination delivery it's not considered into that price. So if you want to add, if there's like $1,000 option or something here on this one, that is below your price. If you wanted to add the interior package, you'd probably be over, but destination delivery charges is like $1,800. So that would be the price before that. So there's your MSRP. So your destination is $1,300. So they're showing you the price before destination, so it's $54,975. So the only way to get a premium edition would be that route. So there's only a couple configurations, which is why they really need to bring these prices down, is what I said in that video. So also, let's talk about the F-150 Lightning real quick, and then we'll move on to the questions. Lightning, build and price. Basically, you have to go XLT. Your Lariat is going to be, start our build here. So if you look, Lariat starts at 74.4, so you could go standard range Lariat and get there. You go extended range, you're automatically in the 85. Same way on the XLT. As soon as you add extended range, you're over 80. So they need to make extended range on XLT available. They need to be more readily available to order, but also be available on extended range to get it under 80. So Ford needs to do some tweaking to their prices. Hopefully they do, but that's kind of the way that kind of looks right there. But again, there's a salary cap too. Certainly, if you're over a certain amount of money, that kind of stuff. I'll be doing a video eventually on that when I get all my notes together for that. But there's some other things to consider there. But there you go. So that's all I had there. So let's start answering those questions because there's a ton of them, right?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Do the best I can.
I'm going to pop the first one in. Outside, sorry, Kevin, when this, I don't know how to say your last name, but Kevin says, outside of Super Duty scheduling notes, a dozen or so have started to show up at dealers today. Do you have any other information on release? It seems a lot of people that have orders are on chip hold. So the other information on releasing, sometimes they hold off too because they may want to release it more of them at the same time, that type of thing. And it may not just be chip holds, because from what I understand is there isn't an issue with chip holds right now. Mm-hmm. So we had someone in the live stream, I don't know how long ago it was, but they said that they work for a company that supplies the chips for not only Ford but the other manufacturers, and there is no chip holds. They're at dealers. And this is a new model, so that shouldn't be being held up because of a chip. So it might be held up more because of shipping issues is more likely. So, all right. Rick and Kelly Is the 2023 Escape plug-in hybrid as much of a unicorn as the Mav? Also, is order bank closing soon for those?
Yes, we just talked about that earlier. Order bank
Yep.
closes. What was that date? The end of the month,
Yep.
basically. But yes, only about 11% of the plugins is their commodity constraint is 11%, whereas on the Maverick it's 35%. So yes, it is. And when you look at hybrid, it's like even less. So plugins like 11% of the production, 8% of the production is hybrid. So between hybrid and plug-in, you're less than 20% between the two. So yes, it is rare.
Yeah.
I'll try to go quick on these so we can
Yes.
keep moving.
Pulse44 asks if our media passes have arrived in the mail yet.
No, well, we'll get those by email the week of the show.
Yep.
So, but yeah, we're going. We got our flights and everything.
Yeah. All right. 2023 Escape plug-in hybrids builds have been bumped 3 times a week each time. What's up with that?
Again, it's probably the same thing that's having an issue with the hybrid batteries and such. Is just the battery production and such. And remember, on all these models, they are an assembly plant. They're not producing a lot of the supplies. So a lot of the stuff they don't make in-house. They make, and if they do, they make it. They have a separate plant for that. Like Ford's building a battery plant to make the batteries, but otherwise, the factories themselves, they get the supplies from other places. So more than likely, they're not getting the battery production from their supplier that they need to be able to assemble them. So if they have those orders ready to go and then they go to be able to build them the next week, they go, well, we can't build this one because we don't have enough batteries. They'll push it back. So it is them waiting on their suppliers to give them the what they need, right, to be able to produce them.
Yep. All right. Puga, if I am at the back of a long line, 400 plus, with a 2-door wild track order that I've changed to an OBX high tow auxiliary aux under the 23 offer, realistically, do you think that an unconstrained order will be fulfilled?
Yeah, I mean, and they're saying that if you switch yours over to a more buildable order, that they're gonna build it within 23 production. And we have to remember it. I know you're towards the back of the line, but that actually moves you ahead. We had one person. I looked at ours. Out of our 20 orders, 19 of them have the hardtop. But it was 20. We had one person that had a wild track that took the hardtop off. He's one of our members. And I'm like, that's just going to move you right ahead of probably all the other wild tracks, because all the wild tracks had the same thing. They all had luxury package. They all had hardtops. They all had, of course, Sasquatch in there and everything. So that just moved you ahead of the other 6 wild tracks. Right there. Same way with you is going to do the same thing. It's going to kind of jump you over some of those other orders that have more constraint items on there. Outer Banks is well within capacity. They're, if you look at the numbers, they're well within that. You got the high package isn't a problem. Tow package isn't a problem. You're way within the constraint now of that. So you don't have anything on yours other than being a 2-door that's going to cause that. So you're going to jump over a bunch of orders and cents. I mean, you have the 400 when you say back of the line. Technically, unless they prioritize others over another, if they all have the same priority, you're all the carryover orders for 23 have the same date. If you look at it, all of our orders have the exact same date. So it doesn't matter when you ordered within 2022 model year. Let's say there was one a carryover for 21, and then new orders for 22. They all have the same date right now. So that date is on there. I don't know if they actually are able to see the original reservation number and help those people, but for the most part, everybody has the same date for their 22 order. So really, if your dealership all has yours as priority 10, then your order, in a sense, is going to have a more buildable order, and it's going to get kind of jumped over the others.
All right. ML Culpepper. Is it confirmed that Ford Pass points can be used for online Ford accessory purchases effective January 31st?
Yes, we got a dealer bulletin. We talked about it, I think, last week, and that's what they're telling us. So, of course, Ford can always change their mind, but according to what we've been told is starting, you're going to actually be able to put your Ford. I think you have to log in to your Ford Pass account and go into Ford accessories or something. I'm not sure how you're supposed to work it, but you're supposed to be logged into your account, and then when you purchase things, you can then have the ability to use your Ford Pass points, which they had rock rails in there.
Teague Marshall asks if there's any update on possible aftermarket videos. I think we've talked about it.
Yep. So my daughter's, your sister's Maverick,
Yes.
she's getting a spray and liner and a bed cover. So we're going to do a video on how we do our spray and liners here. So we're thinking about doing one on, she's going to get a soft roll up bed cover as well. So we're thinking of doing a video on that as well.
Because we have one on a hard roll up.
Yeah, they all pretty much install the same way, to be honest. They all have a rail that attaches to the bed. So if you've seen the trifold hard one that we did, they all are assembled pretty much the same way. There's just a little bit of tweaking on each one, and Miles could probably tell us this for sure, but there's other professionals. I give them to them to install. I don't do them myself. You've installed your hardcover.
I installed my own hardcover bed.
But
or bed cover.
I think for the most part, most of them are attached the same way with bed rails on the side, and then from there you can figure it out. So if you've seen that, you'll be able to figure that out. So
you're a DIYer. It shouldn't be too much for you. All right. Xiaomi Mean Stroke, what is the story of the tracker lately? I'm ping-ponging between built, shipped, final preparation, and trim levels.
Yeah, that tracking system, and you may have some situations where, okay, yes, it's shipped out, and then, it can't get on the rail, so it kind of comes back or whatever. So it could actually be that it's moving around, but it's hard to tell. So I've never been that, until I see it on a rail car, I don't feel like I don't usually worry about it, so.
All right, Melissa Day says, I had a canceled 22 Maverick. My dealer's telling me I have a priority code of 19 for my 23 Maverick. Does this mean new 23s will probably be built before mine?
Really, more than likely that dealership is doing is they put 19 on everybody's.
So it could be that they do go ahead of you.
Yeah.
Because if she was canceled, everyone else's orders got put in before hers.
Yeah. So, yeah, and so I'm kind of been saying that with our Bronco orders too. So all of our Bronco order holders right now are in as 10s. Well, we take new orders. If they're not scheduled yet, when we start taking new orders, we're not going to put the new orders in as 10s. We're going to put them in as 15s. We're going to make sure they're not prioritized before the 10s. Your dealership should be doing the same thing on those 22 Mavericks. They should have prioritized the 22 Mavericks. So, yeah, keep that in mind. So.
Okay. Sorry. Oops, for Michael Kostov. Oops, LO. If Ford knows how many hybrids are ordered and how many they can build each month, why can't they give us an idea when or if our truck will get built?
Well,
because it changes each month.
Yes, it changes. So it's, again, they're an assembly plant and they assemble what they can assemble, right? So if they don't have the parts for... if they don't have the parts at the right time, then they can't do it. So, when you look at like Tesla, and like when you go to look at a Tesla vehicle, and I kind of looked at this in my video, there's only about 3 options you can put on a Tesla, right? You choose the main frame, and then you other than color, you can only choose like 2 packages, and that's it. You choose your exterior color, interior color, and I think they have 2 packages that are available. That makes it easy. Well, if we did the same thing on all the trucks, hey, here's an XL. This is all the equipment you can have. There's nothing else. And then here's all the XLTs. This is the way they are, or Lariats, and there's no other packages or standalone options to add. That would make it totally different. They probably could schedule it out like Tesla does, but because there's optional equipment that each individual wants that the other people don't want, to customize your order, it makes it difficult to be able to schedule that out that far in advance. So again, it's about suppliers, what they're going to get and everything. And just like with this, when they say they're doing cleanup scheduling, and here's things that they're not scheduling for because they don't have the parts for those things. So they need to fill in orders that with other trim levels and options that they have supplies for. That makes sense.
Okay. Our Pavel says, how about a video on your thoughts on Maverick versus Santa Cruz? My Ford dealer sells both Ford and Hyundai.
I actually did a video on that, but I didn't think it was that good, so I haven't put it on there. I was going to do it on my FordVideoGuy channel, but my opinion on that is that if you're looking at a hybrid, Santa Cruz doesn't have a hybrid, right? Plus, where does the Santa Cruz starts more expensive than the Maverick does, right? So that's another option. And then the other thing to look at is do you like the look of it better? There are some cool little features on the Santa Cruz. I mean, I do like in their bed. They have a little storage underneath the bed. That's kind of cool. Have a little compartment under there. That's pretty neat. They have some cool features. I actually don't mind the look of it myself. To me, it looks like should be under the Subaru lineup, in my opinion. Kind of, to me, looks kind of like a Subaru Outback truck to me. But for that point, but if you look at those vehicles, they start much more expensive. And I might be a little biased. I actually have an auto journalist group I'm trying to get into right now, and they don't really want me in because I'm a dealer and I'm a Ford dealer. So if I drive other vehicles, I might drive them so that I can come back and tell my customers that. And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I get that. So, that might be a group of journalists I won't be into, because I've been doing Ford videos for a long time, and I am kind of biased to the Ford vehicles too, a little bit. So it's hard for me to do an unbiased opinion on that. But my opinion is the Santa Cruz really isn't a competitor because it doesn't have a hybrid. So if you're looking at a hybrid, it's not a competitor to it because they don't have a hybrid engine. They have an EcoBoost. So if you're looking at an EcoBoost, if you're looking at an ICE version, then you do have a comparable there. But if you're looking at the cheaper one, the Maverick is cheaper. It starts cheaper than what you get on the Santa Cruz, and comparison that way. But otherwise, that's just my 2 cents on that. And I'll go on. We'll move on.
All right. Can my dealer tell me an idea when I will receive my 23 Ford Maverick?
When you'll receive it? As soon as it gets shipped out, it's better. I don't like to tell people a date until Ford tells us an ETA, and then it still could move around. I mean, I saw some today. I was going through a bunch of ours. We probably have about 20 or 30 Mavericks that are built, and there are a lot of them that are actually not on a rail yet, that are sitting at Hermosillo, and the dates on them, I'm like, there's no way that's getting here. Like, the dates are like February 8th, February 14th, and I'm like, they're not even on the rail yet. They're not going to be here in 2 weeks. They're not even left the plant yet. So I like to tell people, once it gets on a rail, then it's going to be more accurate, because once we see it actually on a rail, the day that it was put on a rail, or on that rail car, and it actually leaves Hermosillo, then you figure about 4 weeks, and that's pretty close. And so I like to tell people, if you have a production date, don't necessarily say it's 4 weeks from that date, because it's not going to be, probably. So.
Yep. All right. RK says, can I get an EV tax credit on a lease?
No, you cannot. Actually, I did look that up. You cannot, if you do a lease, you cannot get a tax credit on that. So it's only for purchases. So.
All right. Jack Evans had commented on the color of the Bronco Sport. Then Tim Johnson. My dealer says he can't get my special offer to be accepted by Ford. Ford Helpline says it's okay with Ford. My Maverick hasn't shipped yet. I'd like to buy next from you and buy you a drink.
Well, yeah, we are seeing some issues. We had the customer that bought the Wild Track, his wasn't showing up for some reason. We even had the COVP and showed them the tracking number, so they had to then find it and everything and produce the certificate number. So it is sometimes getting on the phone with the sales and inventory specialist. But I have somebody that's a very devout follower of mine over on the Maverick Truck Club. I reached out to somebody at Ford, and he got me because theirs wasn't showing up, and I got a certificate number for him. He goes, "Yep, here you go. It's all good." It was showing up until a week before his vehicle showed up. He went into the dealer. It's not showing up now. The sales and inventory manager says it's not showing. So at this point, he has to pay the more expensive price. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So I'm trying to get my contact over at Ford to help me to help that person out, because that's not fair. That's not right. I mean, it was there. They had a 22 order with COVP from my understand. So I don't know why it's now not showing up. So.
Okay. James Malone says, I have a rollover hybrid Maverick still unscheduled. Is there a deadline, or waiting patiently is the only option? Is priority 2?
Okay, so if you have a So it's not a rollover. It's actually one of the canceled orders if it has a priority 2. So priority 2 will be looked at first. So it's just a matter of time. Yes, you just gotta be a little patient. It should schedule soon, and I don't know if did I mention that last week about having 7,000 of those got canceled, and so it could take a couple. It'll probably take about 2 months to get through all of them scheduled again because they're all hybrids. And I know we have somebody that had a November order in 2021. And theirs isn't scheduled yet. And I said, well, it's close. I mean, based on the way I'm looking at in the order, you're right there. You should be scheduled at any time because you're one of our last priority 10s. Actually, I think she was 11. We still have some 10s that need to be scheduled, but you're real close. And again, you got to remember, yours isn't the only one that's not scheduled yet from those rollover orders. So it's going to take a little while, especially with those canceled orders. When they couldn't build 7,000 they already had VINs for last year, that threw everything behind. Because that's 7,000 Maverick hybrids that couldn't be built. And at 35%, it's going to take 2.5 months to get those scheduled before they can even start on new ones. Or our rest of our other rollovers for that fact. So
Z asked, if you had to guess, when do you think your 23 Maverick orders will start scheduling? They have already started to schedule.
Maybe they're talking about a new one. So maybe if you're talking about a new order,
A couple of months.
then yeah, well, maybe in a couple months, yeah. So.
Yep. All right. The WB says, is deep sleep a known issue?
Yeah, well, I've had mine vehicles go into deep sleep, especially my hybrids. If you don't drive them enough, if they're driving like every day, then that's a problem. But I believe that is a known issue. Probably has a TSB out for service. You got to check with your service departments. I'm more on the sales side, features, that kind of stuff. So that is something I probably couldn't answer for you without getting with our service department. But yeah, reach out to your service department and they can tell you if there's a TSB means that it's something that's not a recall issue. That's like a safety recall issue, but it's something that it's a known issue, but it tells them how to fix it. So, yeah, there you go.
All right. Great. A-Bar says, I got a build date last week on my Bronco. Can I drop SAS and get a private offer? So he already has a build date.
Oh yeah, if you have a build date, you don't need to worry about it.
Nope.
And no, you cannot drop a package at this point to get the private offer. Nope, you're already scheduled. They're only looking for unscheduled orders to do that. So.
Why are we discontinuing the Lincoln franchise?
Ask Lincoln. We didn't want to. It wasn't really our choice. It was we were almost forced into it, but that's probably more than what I should say. Lincoln is changing how they want to do things. Let's just say that. So good luck trying to find a Lincoln dealership unless you live in a metro area. Just going to say that.
Yep. All right. Bruce White says, Wave 7 of Lightning invites went out last Thursday. Curious how many reservation holders at McArthur were invited in that wave. I think you had 22 in Wave 6 in December.
We don't know. It's really weird. I sent an email out to the contact person for that. And because when those wave invites go out, we're supposed to get notified ahead of time before the wave invite going out and show us what waves. It'd be 2307 on our report, and click on that. We should see all the people that were invited. And it's still not showing, even though they went out last week. I looked again today, and they're still not showing of which one of our people that got invited. So I don't know. But I do know this. There were some people way down on the list that were invited. So I think this wave has to do with people that answered that survey that went out last fall that said, when you want to order, what trim level were you thinking of ordering? And so all these people that are ordering now are Lariats. So I think, well, I guess you can't order an XLT anyway because it's kind of not closed completely, but it's not available right now. So I think it's because they answered that they wanted to buy a Lariat, and so that's why they got invited. So that survey was very important for people, especially if you wanted a Lariat trim and you're okay with that, because those people have been bumped ahead of other people because they were basically, hey, when I get an invite, I'm going to order. I'm ready to order. I'm getting a Lariat. And so still wish Ford would make it more XLTs and Lariats, but that's what it is. All right.
Okay. So we were
on Bruce White.
Bruce White? Yeah. So next one is Z. Any ideas on what you might replace Lincoln with at the dealership?
Not at this point. We're not planning to add any. We've actually reached out to Kia and Hyundai, I believe, in the past, wanted to put a franchise here. There isn't one in town for either one of those, and they both have told us that we don't have a big enough area or DMA in here to be able to sell those models. So they didn't want to put a new franchise here. So even though we told them, well, we sell about 300% more than what Ford says that we should sell in this market area. They still didn't look to that. So at this point in time, no. So we'll just double down on Ford and EV and go to town.
All right, we are in the WB. Are you aware of the sound screen windows defects? There are little spots or fissures that look like microcrystals when the sun hits the window when low in the sky.
No, that's a new one for me. I haven't heard about that one. Nope, haven't heard about that one.
Okay. All right. James Finch says, I am worried about my map being in production since the 13th. No updates now, according to the tracker, says it's an XL instead of XLT. Are these things I should be worried about with history?
Yeah, if your order isn't saying it's the right trim, you might double check, make sure it is.
Yeah.
So definitely. So.
All right. Did I hear correctly that McArthur still has 23 carry Mavericks not scheduled? 3 carryovers. Sorry.
Still has 23 carry Mavericks? No, we have more than that. So, people that didn't schedule in 22, we have more than 23. So, I think we have like 23 hybrids from October, November. I think our priority 10s and 11s, it's like 23.
Yeah. Okay. ML Culpepper says, are you inadvertently delaying behind other dealerships your customers' builds by putting your non-restrained trimmer customers' orders behind every hybrid rescheduled customers?
No, we're prioritizing our orders based on when they ordered. If they had a carryover order from last year, no matter what their build is, they can build whatever they want. We prioritize the order based on when they ordered in 22 model year for those carryover orders. So for us, if we had somebody that ordered in October and that means they probably ordered a hybrid last October, then they are a priority 10. People that had an order in November, whether it be a hybrid or EcoBoost, which actually they were all hybrids that were left, then they had a priority 11. Our Decembers, which would be all of our, at that point you can only order EcoBoost, was a priority 12. But some of those people, when it came back around, said, I want a hybrid this time and not an EcoBoost, because at that time the hybrid was closed out. So, and some of those people decided to go with a trimmer. So in January, which our 13 priorities for our January orders, those were people that some of those had EcoBoost, and some of those chose to go trimmer. So we didn't put the trimmers in front of them. We prioritized them based on when they ordered, and then all new orders were put in as a priority 15. So that's how we did that. So that's our priority system and how we dictated that. So we structure ours that way. So we have a lot of 15s, a lot of new orders were put in, but our carryover orders were put in anywhere from 10, 11, 12, 13 based on when they ordered their 22 order. So.
All right, the Bruce's tip says, is there a known issue with the Lightning over-the-air updates? Had issues getting the last update to work, but still waiting to get the latest to watch YouTube for my truck.
Well, I had one update that came in, and then my cruise control wasn't working. But then when I actually clicked on the update and then read the instructions and such, and then shut the vehicle off and turned it on, it worked okay after that. So other than that, I'm not sure. So. Engine cycling off, maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure.
By the way, so in Puget says,
I think it's Peugeot.
Peugeot. Yes.
I know that Johnny says it really well because he's having Canada.
Well, okay, and I didn't realize it was French, but it is French, so it is Peugeot.
Yes.
By the way, regarding my question, I was contacted and informed that I was an affected order and eligible for the offer.
What? That doesn't make sense. If you have a 22 order and it was COVP'd, deadline was today, then you should get the offer. I don't know why you wouldn't. So.
Okay. ML Culpepper says trimmers won't delay their hybrid builds based on your statistics, but other dealers' customers are getting their trimmers way ahead of yours. They are different builds, so perhaps a reconsideration.
We've been getting trimmers. We've had
Yeah.
a couple. We've had two. I think we've had two trimmers. We got a couple that are in
I'm
transit.
wondering if he was chatting in there. Because I found that if you're in the question and you ask a question, it leaves you in that.
Oh.
And so then if you start chatting,
Oh, okay.
you're putting it in there. Okay. Christian Hildebrand says, is standalone hitch a problem on EcoBoost Maverick? Could one switch to XL all-wheel drive EcoBoost? Or is it a no-go with all XL orders?
The standalone ops on the hitch is just a commodity constraint. So it doesn't matter what trim it is. So.
Sorry, guys. Christian.
Yeah,
Someone asked a question as I was moving. Okay. Nelson Maurer says, for Lightning orders who were covered from a 22 to a 23, do they give with the mobile charger?
In 23, the mobile charger you have to make sure you add it as an option. It's not no longer. And 23 is not standard equipment. You have to add it. So like, I had somebody that asked me about it. I says, don't forget, if you want the mobile charger, you got to make sure you put that in on your order. So, and people that had a 22 to 23. Now, if theirs was a 22 that went unscheduled and they pushed it to 23, then I would assume that the mobile charger was in there. They probably just cost them $500. So there you go. So.
Okay. Mike Brennan, what is the correct spelling for Dora? I want to get it right when I ask my dealer.
What is the what?
Correct spelling for Dora.
Yep, that's right. So it stands for Dealer Order Receipt Acknowledgement, I believe. Something like that.
Okay. Claire M says, hi, what do I need to get the Farm Bureau discount? Is that something that needs to be done in advance?
I believe so, because I think you have to have it for 60 days to get the Farm Bureau. So if you aren't a Farm Bureau member now, I'd suggest you get it if your vehicle isn't scheduled yet, and you should be good. But, yep.
Okay. Tim Foster says, hi guys, I heard the 2023 BD is now coming with cup holders on the back seat. Is that true?
That's what I heard last night. I didn't realize that till last night. But that's what I heard. So.
Okay.
And yeah, they had somebody on the All-Terrain Nation. They were talking about it. Some people that were getting it, and I actually haven't noticed in the 23s, but okay. I haven't been looking inside of them. So.
Mike Morgan says, any information on locking rear differential for Big Bend auto transmission being a constrained commodity?
No, it's not. It's more the front diff for people like I mean, that's more Sasquatch. To get the front diff, you have to have Sasquatch. But no, rear locking is not on the Big Bend, so it should be a problem. Not from what I understand. Let's see here. I had the constraint item here, and I don't think so.
Oh, Claire M is a member of Farm Bureau.
Oh.
So you just need to get the PIN.
I think you need a Farm Bureau. And that website, I think that we mentioned earlier, is where you'd probably go to get that information. But yeah, front e-locker is the constraint, not the rear. So should be good. All right.
ML Culpepper, PS ordered. PS, newly ordered trimmers were all ordered 4 months ago. They had no restraints except for your assigned priority codes. Others who were changed orders to trimmer are now getting theirs elsewhere.
So that's probably where you were saying they were just chatting in there.
Yeah. Mark Morgan, what are the capacity versus order numbers for Bronco Black Diamond? Did you go over that?
They're right on. No, I didn't. They're the same. They're the same as they were last. Because remember last week, whatever they were, they stayed the same. Other than the base. If you look at the base, the order bank, the amount of orders in the order bank for the base went way down because they scheduled a bunch of base model trims, but they didn't schedule any of the other trims. So I think it was all the specialties and then the base trim. So the base went from a capacity of 9% with retail orders being around 8-9% to 5%. So they're down to only 2,000 orders on the base because that's what they scheduled last week. But last week they didn't schedule any of the others. So those numbers stayed the same. Black Diamond is still 8%. They have about 3,000 orders that they need to schedule, and that's about their capacity. So.
All right. When I ordered my Maverick in September, the order sheet did not show a charge for Alto Blue. The window sticker on Ford's website now shows $495 charge. How are the dealers handling this?
Just look on your order sheet. It should show whether or not it is. Jolie's is Alto Blue. There's no charge on hers.
No.
Nope, I got. She's got Alto Blue, and there is no charge for Alto Blue. So
There you go. It might just be a glitch on those preview sheets.
The early on, there was an issue with Alto Blue in a lot of orders, and so I know they were having issues with that, and they fixed it on that Monday, the 19th, 20th, I believe, somewhere around there. They did fix that glitch. So if you ordered before then, it probably does show an upcharge. But when your vehicle comes in, or even you ask for an order sheet now. If you can have them pull up an order sheet now and it wouldn't show that price. Your Dora back then would actually show it as well, because I went through a lot of our orders where that was a glitch, and I actually added a front license plate bracket, which was a no charge option, and then so that would initiate a new Dora, and I got the updated pricing for theirs. So I did a trick like that, and then the ones that had the front license plate bracket, I took it off, saved it for one day, so it initiated a new Dora, and then I put it back on the next day, so that I could get that updating prices and everything on the new Dora. So,
all right, this is from Vols44. Attention, webmaster. Typo on Mach 1 stock number 221523. Listed internet price is $5,775. That would probably
grab
be
it
my
quick.
That would be my typo.
You're the one that prices those.
I'll go fix that.
You better fix that.
I must have forgot to hit one number.
Here, let's fix it real quick. We can do it.
All right.
What was that stock number?
221523.
We better fix it. Somebody's got to get. It's not for sale.
Usually I type in the wrong number, 5 instead of 4.
What's the stock number then?
221523.
Uh-oh. What was it supposed to be?
I'm pretty sure it's the same. I forgot the 8 between.
But is that a 22? Because there's a $1,000 rebate on those, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be 58 here?
Gotta check the document.
Bear with us for a second. Oops. No, Mach 1s don't get the rebate. Oops, forgot about that. Okay.
But that's wrong. 577. 57785.
Yeah.
You have 5785.
Oops.
Right.
There we go.
Thank you.
It'll update in the next 15 minutes.
Thank you.
You just saved her job.
Or, not hearing about it. I just heard about it live from the people.
All right.
All right. We're at allocations. Speaking of incentives, any scuttlebutt about Ford offering an incentive to switch MAV?
Not yet.
I am now officially sad. Who's claiming the Mach 1? I'm now officially sad. Yep, it's not. We're not going for that. All right, here's another one with the same question. Incentives to go from hybrid to EcoBoost.
Yeah, not yet, but I wouldn't be surprised, because if they're doing something to the Bronco like that, right, maybe they'll do it for the Maverick.
Yeah.
We can always hope. But again, every model is run by a different team, so it's really up to that team on what they decide to do. So just because they do something with one model versus another doesn't mean it's going to be that way on all of them. But
Okay. Will you know the February allocations for each model before the next week's live stream?
what?
No, the February allocations?
Actually, tomorrow is when our allocation meeting is. So
Okay.
We should
So
actually.
before next week's live stream.
We should I do know our February allocations. I just don't talk about it.
We have this Tuesday and the next Tuesday, and then
Like when they'll reset.
2 more.
I don't know. Usually it's the first week, so it'll probably be next week will still be January's allocations, and then the week after probably be January's as well. And then we'll move into February's allocations. But yeah, I know that I think we have our numbers for. Oh wait, no, that's just January's. Yep, I don't have that one yet. So we'll get those here in a couple weeks. So.
Okay. Do you anticipate a sales manager will lower the price on the unsold Maverick trimmer?
Yeah.
They have been.
They have been.
They have been.
Yeah, we just finally we look at like to look at eBay for like when things are going for and such. They like to feel that eBay is more accurate to what prices are going for, although I don't think that's really necessarily an eBay vehicle. And eBay finally just this week made a category for the Maverick trimmer, because before, if you put it in there, it wasn't showing at all under Maverick. And so finally we were able to list it just this week. So they'll give it another week before they do, but so far hasn't.
Yeah.
I have a bet going on that one, so if you guys don't have one, I still think I know where it should be. So.
All right. Our Pavel says, I have a hybrid Maverick order. If I buy a different vehicle, do I get my down payment back, or can the dealer keep it?
It's up to your dealer.
Yep.
I would assume they'll give it back to you.
That would be the nice thing to do.
Most of them will. I mean, especially if it hasn't been scheduled yet. So.
When do you let your dealership know you have a PIN number to use? Preferably when you order, so that can be ordered with the plan pricing.
Well, if you're talking about X plan, D plan, then yes, it's nice to do that, because if you order it that way, then the price is on the webdo and everything at the beginning. So then that way, if there's a price increase, it's a lot easier to figure that out, because you have that in there.
Dora.
But if on the others, because what a dealership has to do is if you ordered and didn't tell them when they ordered it, all you're seeing is invoice price and MSRP. So then when it comes in, you go, I have D plan or I have X plan, then it makes it tricky, because then we have to do a little subtraction from the invoice price and then take that from the X plan price and the new one, subtract that number. It's a little bit different. So it's always good if you're X plan. Now, if you're talking about like a PIN number for Farm Bureau or something like that, or your private offer, at the time of delivery is fine for those.
Yep. All right, Elizabeth Kittrell says, what changes for an order to go from production to built, or is it just wording change?
From produced to built?
Produced to built.
Don't know. I know they kind of use both of those, so
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mark Staley says, has Ford altered or removed the heated seating feature for the A and C ports for the rear seats of the higher trim F-150 crew cab?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, they might have and not told dealers, which is something they tend to do. But so remove the heated seat for the back, I assume is what you're saying, on the back of that. No, I don't think they have on the F-150. I think they still have the heated seats. I don't believe that's something that we've noticed as something they've been removing. We've seen them remove the heated seat on some of the SUVs. We've seen that. Functionality is there, but the controls aren't there. But on the F-150, I don't believe they've mentioned removing those yet, from what I understand.
All right.
And I did think I heard something about the steering wheel, the heated steering wheel coming back. Somebody mentioned that. I think Johnny mentioned that. Don't know where he got that information, but I trust his information. So he's talking about that those with the heated steering wheel on the ICE versions, I believe, are going to now become available again. And so that's a good sign.
Okay. Gene Hanks says, why would my Maverick in production... Sorry. Why would my Maverick say in production, but then scheduled for the week of the 27th?
Okay, so In production means the information being sent to the plant. So so anything that's for this week, right? That's being built this week, they needed the information at the plant, and so what they'll say is it's going in production when they basically your order is being okay. Here's Tim's order. It needs to be produced, so they'll say it's going in production when that information, that order, is given to the plant, so they can start planning out for all the different things and supplies that they need for that order for next week. So usually that's the status. So you have 4 main statuses for your order. You have in process, in production, built, or in transit, I should say, in production, then in transit, and then delivered. Those are your 4 statuses, but there's sub statuses within each one of those, right? And so in production is one of them, but then it'll still say it's not going to be built until the 27th. So it'll go in production usually about a week to 10 days before your actual build date.
James Chapman, please add your question in the Q&A and then we'll answer it.
Yeah, if we can, it makes it easier so we can make sure we get everybody's questions there.
And then you don't have to keep repeating it. It's in there.
Dealers get more
But
allocations. We hope they will, but I'll just answer it. We hope they will. We don't really know. We assume so.
But if you do, if we aren't answering your question right away, you don't need to keep adding it in there. We have it. We're just going through all the questions. We have a big list of them here.
Yep, we'll get to it. That's what I like about the Q&A, because then we won't miss things if people don't forget to put Long McArthur. They just put their questions in there.
The other part about
work.
saying at Long McArthur at Sarah Davis, sometimes you may spell it incorrectly or add a space or not add a space. Either one of those ways, it doesn't tag you.
Yeah, we don't always see it. So this way we don't miss any questions.
Yep. All right, To the Bub says, if it will select it. Is there any discussion of reinstalling stockholders into X-Plan pricing discount program?
Reinstalling Ford stockholders into I don't know. I assume they got that, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know much about that and who gets the X-Plan pricing, but I'd assume that part of those recognition programs with the new website that they made. Right, so check out that website, and maybe it's going to be listed in there, and that information, who gets the different recognition programs. So,
all right, Joe Bezek, love the show regarding the F-150 rear bed camera deletion. Can that be placed back on later?
I believe not.
You're good, James. We just wanted to let you know that we aren't answering the questions in the chat.
Yeah,
they're in the Q&A. And so you have to hit the blue box and ask to ask a question. So I just wanted to let you know because I had seen it multiple times.
Yeah, we don't want to forget your question either.
Yeah.
So. All right. So affected vehicles will not be eligible for a retrofit to add the Chismo camera at a later date. I call it Chismo. I don't know how to stoplight. So it looks like not. I found a lot of these things that are being taken off the vehicles are not something they can retrofit. From what I understand, on the heated steering wheel for the Lightning, is it can be because it's a software thing that's missing, not a hardware. It's a different steering wheel that they're able to get at that plant versus the other plants, I believe.
Okay. Joe Bezic then asked a follow-up question on that. Regarding the 5.5 foot bed capacity, how much wood could a woodchuck into the bed? Okay.
5.5 feet.
5.5 feet worth of wood. All right. Should I be? James Finch says, should I be worried about my Maverick? The tracking site has shown built. Back into production. My order now says that it's an XL, but it's supposed to be an XLT, and used to say that.
Maybe. Isn't your order with us? Maybe not. Guess not. Maybe. I'd be a little concerned. I don't know. That is kind of weird. So now back is in production. Now, I actually have seen vehicles say they were built and in transit and then go back to in production because they didn't get on there for some reason.
Yeah.
But does say, but you say my order also now says that it's an XL, but it's supposed to be an XLT, and you used to say that. So that I'd be a little concerning. I'd go and talk to your dealer. I don't know why I was thinking that he had an order with us. Don't see it in here, so that's not. All right, what's next?
All right, Becky F. Can you tell us the percentage of Bronco orders that are for Raptors? How many Raptors is your dealership allocated?
Ours is, periodic. It's like 1 week, like at one time she was like, oh, by the way, you have 2 Bronco Raptors that you can schedule this week. Which orders do you want me to select? And it's like, oh, really? Okay. And it's just like out of the blue. So it's usually a monthly basis, because on the sheet, it actually says on the Raptor, it's manually allocated. So there's a certain number that they're going to build of the Raptors. And so the dealers earn them based on certain things. And one of those factors for us is the F-150 Raptors that we get. And we actually get quite a few allocations for F-150 Raptor, for our region, I should say anyway. So we actually have a decent amount that we get. But we usually get that on a monthly basis. So they'll let us know, how many F-150 Raptors we're going to have, and usually it's almost even that week. So I know 1 week, they had emailed us and said, oh, by the way, you have 8 F-150 Raptors available this week. Which orders do you want? And we're like, whoa, wait a second, really, out of the blue like that? Because we didn't have a lot of customer Raptors orders, so we had to put stock ones in there for them to choose. Same way with the Raptor, we put the orders in, we put them in stock orders, and then they select which ones based on the allocations that we have. But we usually don't find that out sometimes until the week of. Sometimes we'll get an email on Monday and go, oh, you have 2 Raptor Broncos. Oh, great. Okay, well. So we like to make sure any customers that want a Raptor, we put them in there so we can select those by the date that we added them, so that we can select them in that order. So.
All right. John Miko says, does the 2023 Badlands Bronco interior have cup holders in the receipt? Some are saying it now does.
That's what I heard. All Train Nation last night, there was a person that had the green grade vinyl, I believe, and they said that it had the cup holders. I haven't. We just got one in. I just got one in. Maybe I can confirm that for next week, because it's actually sitting in getting the setup done and service right now. So I'll go check it out. There's a Badlands, I assume it's the marine grade vinyl in there. So if it does, I'll confirm that. So.
Okay. Dan Foster had said it's not allowing me to ask a question in the blue question queue. So is the Lariat and or Lux starting to be constrained?
Actually, it is in the blue section.
Yes, it is. So it did show up, Dan Foster. And on top, oh wait, no, go on with that one.
All right, is the Lariat and or Lux starting to be constrained? What model are you talking about? Talking about Maverick? No. Talking about, I don't know what. Well, I guess it would have to be talking about Maverick, because you can't get on F-150. There's not an electric package. So, no, I don't think it's constrained. So, I have the commodity report, and I think I did put Maverick at the bottom, so that way I could get to it easy. On the Maverick, I know this was posted. That's the only thing I don't like when people post like information in like the forums and such, is that they don't clarify and talk about what's going on and what everything means. But no, you're within. Their capacity is 25%, and the amount of orders is 20%. So they're within capacity. So that's not a major constraint. So it will take a little longer to get them scheduled, but the capacity is there. Okay.
Okay. We were at that one. I was under the impression that priority codes for Broncos didn't matter, or that's what we've all been told. I guess I should bug my dealer to make sure.
Yes. Priority codes are always going to matter in every model. So priority 10 is going to be looked at. If you have identical orders, one's a 10, one's 11, the one that's a 10 is going to get scheduled first. It's just going to happen that way. So, yeah. So there you go. So. We have some that are party two, so we know they're going to be picked up, you know, before the others if they pulled it down to party two. So.
All right, we were back to here. I have a missing private offer due to 2-letter difference on my address and email. Is that a good reason why it's missing? I have a tracking number.
Could be. Have them. You can also have them look by the, you know, all that's put in manually. So if they put the email address in incorrectly, have them look by your name or even by your phone number if they had submitted the phone number too, which they were supposed to. That's why on the order sheet in there it says phone number, email address. You're supposed to fill all that in. The person that submits that to COVP is supposed to put the phone number in, email address, and the address in so they can look all three of those. They have several options to be able to match those up. So you can have them search by your zip code and your last name, and then should be able to see which one it is, even if the email address isn't matching up. So instead of having them search by email, try to search by name or by phone number and see if it shows up. So. But yeah, because that stuff put in, we actually had one where the first name and last name was switched. And I just happened to like, well, let me just try this. And I tried it with the first name as their last name, and it showed up and found it. As long as you have the certificate number, you can put an exception in for that and say, this is why it didn't pull up under their name and didn't match is because of this. And you put in the reason. There's several different reasons. And a human error, dealer error is one of those. So like if like Jolie doesn't have one, but she moved from one of the time she ordered it for the time the vehicle finally showed up. She actually lives in a different place, so the address isn't the same, and she changed her last name. So there's a couple of things. So usually what you have to do is show that at one point, here's what her name was, here's what it is now, to show proof of that to the same person, as well as a address that they're at now. You know, a bill, you know, something that shows that, you know, a utility bill or something like that with that new address. So just to show proof of that. So anyway.
All right. So is the trailer hitch a constraint on the Maverick or trimmer Maverick?
Not on the trimmer. It's included in the trimmer package. So things that are included in the package, they can't do it. That's why they had issues with the luxury packages last year, was because they had stuff in the luxury package that was causing the luxury package issues. So it made that a constraint package. On the trimmer, you know, the tow hitch is included, so that's not going to be a constraint or stop it from getting scheduled. They're still gonna, especially on the trimmer, they have a lot less orders than what their capacity is on the trimmer. If you have a trimmer order, you should feel pretty good that you don't need to worry about it getting scheduled and getting built in 23. I'd almost guarantee it's going to. So.
All right.
Unless your dealer doesn't have allocation, took way too many orders.
To the Bubba. Is Ford going to reinstate an X-Plan format for Ford SIOC owners again? Stockholders again.
Yeah, we just had that question. I don't know.
He asked that one.
Yeah, so.
Any trimmers included in your current preview orders?
We don't. For the last couple of weeks, we haven't had any of our orders preview. They just scheduled on Thursday. So I think they're previewing on Friday, and then they're scheduling. So on Friday, we had 2 trimmers. Was it 2 or 3? I think it was. I can't remember. We had a couple on Friday that were previewing. At least 2, if not 3, were previewing last Friday. But today, they're not. So, and we noticed that last week too. We even looked on Tuesday and Wednesday, and we didn't have any previewing. And then Thursday they scheduled. So you just never know. So.
Okay. How long does it take to a Bronco to arrive at your dealership once it gets on the rail?
Usually 3 weeks to us. Again, location has a lot to do with how long it takes, but the rail goes pretty quick on those. But usually once it gets on the rail, the same way when we got my Lightning, once it got on a rail, I got my Lightning in like 2 weeks. So usually about 2 to 3 weeks once it's on the rail. Once it's out, it's left the train station, as I like to say.
Okay. Property Inspection Pro says, I placed my Lightning order today. When can I expect it to go through production?
So you placed it today, so it needs to get scheduled. So it's just like any other order. Once the order is submitted, you still have to get it scheduled. So we've had some people that had an XLT Lightning scheduled or ordered for about a month, and it still hasn't scheduled yet. So they all still need to go through scheduling. So until it gets scheduled, it's hard to tell.
Can a Shelby GT500 go into deep sleep?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it could. I mean, typically I don't know. I don't know that deep sleep. I haven't had an issue with any of my vehicles going into deep sleep unless they had a dead battery. So, or a low battery, I should say.
Yeah. All right. Kevin Forsambo says, if I finance through McArthur, can I use the $500 Farm Bureau rebate and get up to $1,000 in free shipping / travel expenses?
Yep. That Farm Bureau rebate is your rebate, so it just lowers that down. So if you finance with us, you still get the $1,000. So.
Okay. Schubert Technologies says, any thoughts on Maverick XLT and hybrid ordered in September, getting a production date soon?
Well, remember this, everybody's order was ordered in September. All 74,000 orders were ordered in September, or 80, whatever, 70, 80, somewhere in there. All those orders were ordered in September, right, within 5 days. So, some people are going to get theirs already scheduled. Some people are going to get theirs scheduled this month. Some people are going to get theirs scheduled next month. Some people are going to not get theirs scheduled until this summer. So it's hard to tell. Priority has something to do with it. When you order it has something to do with it, and how your order looks has something to do with it. All three of those. So it's a mixture of combinations. So, and dealer allocations have something to do with it. There's a lot that go into that. So there's no way to be able to tell.
Someone asked, what is MTC? It's the Maverick Truck Club forum. So you can go and type in Maverick Truck Club and it'll pop up. And it's just a forum for Maverick truck owners or people that are interested in it.
Yep.
I believe it's a really good resource. Our Maverick trimmers.
And let me put my videos on there. So,
yeah.
I appreciate that too.
Our Maverick trimmers currently being built on higher Ford EcoBoost priority.
No, again, we got to remember there's a lot less EcoBoost orders than there is hybrid orders. So when you look at the percentage, 35% of the orders that are scheduled are going to be hybrid. The other 65% are going to be EcoBoost, and that's all divided between trimmer as well. So trimmers are going to be about 8% of those. So they're going to build 8% of them trimmers.
Rick and Kelly, it is accepting all the questions. You just can't see it once you've submitted. So I can see them. I see your question in there.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're just way up here. Okay. We were on our Mavericks currently. All right, haven't been able to see the 23 Escape plug-in hybrid in person. What color would you choose?
That Vapor Blue at St. Louis looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm. It was gorgeous. I would, if they came out with that for the Maverick, I would definitely switch.
Oh, that looks pretty.
That or azure gray.
Yeah, that does look a little. When you see it in person, definitely you can see the difference.
I like the azure gray. I would totally take that one. All right. Schubert Technology says, are you getting hybrids and XLT often? I know they sold more than able to make, so wondering if you are seeing a 70-30 delivery split at Longford.
It's hard to tell. We've only sold 6 Mavericks this month, 23. So it's really hard to see the mix. We're seeing a lot of black appearance packages and such, but it's really that split is between the nationwide. So sometimes it may not be ours because we have some older orders, so they're trying to pull those older orders or based on priority. So we may not have that same mixture. So here, we don't have a lot of hybrids that need to be scheduled versus EcoBoost. But, we have seen, I haven't really necessarily seen that 70-30 split. We've seen a lot of EcoBoost so far have been the trimmers. But then most of the others have been hybrids. So,
yeah.
Didn't really answer the question, but All right, what you got?
I lost my place. They're talking to me in the chat. All right, who was it? Schubert Technologies. There we go. Okay. When I ordered my Maverick in September, the order sheet did not show a charge for Alto Blue. We went over that one.
For Alto Blue or Atlas Blue? Alto Blue is a cost color.
Alto Blue is a cost color.
It will cost you money.
Yes. Property Inspection Pro, can you use X-Plan on a Lightning?
No. They were able to do that on a mach-e, but on the Lightning they said no. And I think on 23 you can't do it on a mach-e either. So
weren't the trimmers you received older orders changed to trimmers, not brand new ones?
correct.
Yes.
They were people like we had some of our early ones that we had somebody that had a January order that it was an EcoBoost order, and they says, I hope, in fact, that towards the end of the year, we added some stuff to his order because when he heard the trimmer was coming out, he didn't want his scheduled. So we added like splash guards and something else to his order. I think the paint protection, because I said that was in constraint. So we added those to his order so it wouldn't get scheduled, so that when it carried over, then he would be able to order a trimmer, and that's exactly what he did. So yes, and again, those were carryover orders. We have to put a new order in 23. So some of them even might have been a hybrid that they ordered, and then when it came out, they wanted the black appearance package. So we have some people that when their carryover was put in there, they said, I want the black appearance package now that's available. And so they're able to do that. So yes, they were carryovers. We haven't had all of ours have been priority 10, 11, 12s, maybe a couple 13s. We haven't had any. All of our new orders are in as priority 15s. We haven't had any 15s selected yet.
Okay. On my 450 here, gotta remember to select it before I read it. David Dinkenberg says on the 450, the dealer can't bring up window sticker, but when he goes into dealer info, you can show where it is via VIN, and it has 2 kilometers on it. He says this is weird.
There is testing that's done, especially the early one. There'll be possibly some miles put on it. So
I think mine came in with like 100 miles on it.
Yeah, 2 kilometers. That's how far is that? 2K. That's not quite 5. That's not even 5 miles.
No.
That's no, that's not unusual.
That's like putting it on and off of things.
5K is like I mean, I used to run a 5K, which was 3 miles.
Yeah.
So 2K is not even a mile.
No.
So it better have more than a mile on it. It takes that much just to load it onto a train.
Yeah.
So not to laugh, sorry, but 2 kilometers. I'm more in miles and such than anything, but typically we see 10 miles on them. 8 to 10, 5 to 10 miles on them when they come in. That's not unusual. My Bronco had 20 because it was tested.
Okay. So ML Culpepper says that his was a 3. You know how we thought he was chatting? It was a 3-part question. You can only do 200 characters at a time.
Trying to keep those questions short.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Are you sure it wasn't Atlas Blue that was mistakenly uncharged early on? I think Alto Blue is an uncharged. Alto Blue is a charge.
Alto Blue is $4.95 for that color. Atlas Blue is a no charge color.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretty sure because, like I said, Jolie's is an Atlas Blue and there's no charge. Alto Blue last year was a charge as well.
Yeah.
It's because Alto Blue, the way it's made and everything, it's got a clear coat and everything on it, so it's cost more.
Yep. All right. Reason I asked about the 22 converted order was I've seen several people in my Lightning group state that they didn't receive a charger because it was now a 23.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now if they had a 22 order invite that was extended for the Pro version and they ordered a 23, they would have had to order the charger because it's ordered as a 23. If it was a carryover order, that would be different. So.
Yep. All right. Sorry, guys. They keep talking to me in the chat.
Well, tell them you're busy.
Do you know if there are any specific delays for the Trimmer Mavericks?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not really. Not unless you put like a constraint item. I mean, like on, on the Maverick, if you put a bed cover on there, that's going to cause your trimmer to not get scheduled. If you have, the protective film on it, it's going to cause it to be a problem. Splash guards will definitely be a problem. Just do those later. So if you have those things, it will cause it to not be selected, right? So, but a trimmer in itself, it's again 8% constraint, or 8% is fact in here. It says 8%. Only 2% of the orders that are in the order bank are a trimmer out of their capacity of 8%. So again, if you want to get something quick, I mean, you want an EcoBoost engine, go trimmer. You have the opportunity because it'll really help yours out. So
in Pico, although not officially, yes, I know. The M at the beginning throws me off.
I'm bad at spelling names, so I'm not any better.
I'm better at pronouncing things on a regular day, but the M throws me off.
All right.
Although not officially supported, some things, for example, adaptive cruise control or the Haas 3.0, can be fitted on the Bronco. The same logic applies to the other vehicles.
Yes, if it can be added later, fitted later, yeah.
Correct. All right, Rick and Kelly, build and price. Okay, we had that one. When does the Chicago show start?
The
media days are the
Friday.
8th, 9th.
So the 11th is when it starts for the public.
Yep.
Media days are 9th and 10th. That's when we'll be there. So.
Oh yeah, 9th and 10th.
We'll fly out on that Friday. 10th.
Yep.
So we'll get up there on the 8th.
Yeah.
We'll be there afternoon of the 8th. So we're thinking we'll do something if people want to get together on we thought about doing the 9th because I want to try to meet up with All Train Nation's doing a meetup. So we thought about seeing about if we could meet up with them or whatever. But anyway, so either the 8th or the 9th, we'll get more details on that later.
Yep. We have 2 Tuesdays left. Got that. 2 Tuesdays left.
Yep. And we'll do a live stream because that'll be great about that one. We'll be able to do a live stream on Tuesday and then we'll fly out on Wednesday morning. So we'll still have the live stream that night. But when we go to New York in April, it's where it's laying or where it sets. We probably will do a recorded episode or something because we'll need to fly Tuesday. And so I don't want to fly up there and then try to. Some of those hotels don't have the greatest download or upload speeds.
We also talked about me staying while he goes, and then I host the live stream, and he just pops in through Zoom.
Let's see. Well, that was Digital Dealer. We're talking about that.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay. What is the farthest you've ever traveled for an auto show, and would you come to the East Coast?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go to New York.
We're in Kansas.
We're in Kansas. We can go by anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've only started going to the auto shows last year. I went to Chicago as public because it was like a last minute idea, and I didn't try to get media passes because I actually was going. I went to Maine and I said, hey, the Chicago has an auto show. I'll just fly through Chicago on the way home. And so I didn't go to the media days because of that, because I was traveling. And then we hit Detroit, and we mainly did that because of the Mustang reveal and everything. But now we're probably gonna try to hit the 4 big ones this year, and then go from there. So we're gonna go to Chicago. We're gonna do New York. Plan to do Detroit, hopefully, and then hopefully LA. So we'll get West Coast too.
Yeah. Chad.
We've already got our pre-registration for New York. So
yeah. Chad Kavanaugh says, do you have capacity versus demand on the F-150 2 kilowatt power moonroof and power tailgate?
It actually doesn't give us the capacity versus orders on that. It just says that they're constrained. So let me pull up F-150. Actually, the only ones it lists is your black appearance packages on everything and your bed liners and your tonneau covers. That's the only constraints they give us. They don't have it listed, which is weird that they tell us that it's a constraint, but they don't give it to us on a guide on the commodity report. So I don't know what that number is. So
All right.
Next.
Yes. Could you check Maverick build and price? Alto Blue is charged $4.95. Again, that one. Alto Blue is a price color.
I mean, are you talking about the Maverick?
Yeah.
All right. Here, I don't know if I could. I don't think I'll show you this, but I can get on the webdo here. Let me just.
While you're doing that, Vincent Moreno says, can you talk about what all is included if I fly out to drive my Maverick back home? So if you finance at standard rates, we will cover up to $1,000 of your travel expenses. And so your flight for you and another person, your flight expenses, your drive, gas, hotel, up to $1,000.
And you can fly into Wichita or Salina. We'll pick you up free. We have drivers that go and do a lot of our driving for us. They'll go pick you up at the airport, bring you to the dealership. Of course,
the pickup from the airport is free.
Yeah, that's not the cost, and so
Courtesy
then we'll
pickup.
reimburse you for flight expense and gas expense on the way back. Hotel if you need to stay over the night, up to $1,000 of receipts. I know Ridgeview's done that a couple times. He's a little has good practice of that, but so there you go. So all right, so let's go 20. Look at our 23 orders, and I can even go. Let's just pick our paint color we want. Alto Blue and Atlas Blue. We'll do both. So Alto Blue, look up this order. So Alto Blue, there's a charge. Alto Blue Metallic is a clear coat, tinted clear coat, and that's why it's $4.95. Anytime on Ford's build and price you see that it's a tinted clear coat or something like that, tinted clear coats are always $500. If it is a tri-coat like this Cyber Orange, it's usually $1,000 for that, or at least $895 or something like that. So Alto Blue is a cost of $4.95 for the Alto Blue color. Atlas Blue is not a cost color. It is just a metallic paint. It is not a clear coat. So there's a difference between those. And I know at the beginning they had issues on the XL being able to choose Alto Blue. We couldn't choose it when the orders were put in, but on that Monday we were able to switch over to that. And then on some of them, I think they were not charging for the Alto Blue originally on orders. But if you have somebody open up your look at your order now, I guarantee you're going to see a cost of $4.95. So there you go. But yeah, there was an issue where they didn't charge you when it first launched. There was a bug with that, but it is $4.95 for that cost, that color. And they actually updated originally the first order guide. If you actually pulled it up on the Maverick, did not have. They actually have as optional equipment. They'll have the cost colors showing in there as standalone options, because those are the ones that will be an extra charge. And the order guide didn't have Alto Blue listed there. But then when they redid, they always will update the order guide. The next order guide is showing it on there. So, and the price sheet was updated too.
Rick and Kelly, we know it's you probably kept asking it because you couldn't see it. That's okay. Sometimes I just start reading the question out loud without reading it ahead of time, and so then I'm like, oh, we've answered that one. Oh, we answered that one. So the next one,
we'll get to learn this. It's only the second week doing this.
Ray Kitchen says, happy belated birthday, Tim.
Thank you. I haven't got cake.
Yes, he has a live stream cake.
We have my wife made a live stream cake.
Yep.
And I think Jaden sprinkled it.
I would say so. Yeah, that looks like a Jaden job.
We thought about eating it on live stream, but I don't know if I want to see people eat me. I don't want to eat on camera.
No, we're not doing that. We'll eat some afterwards. Or have some tomorrow. I don't know. How am I looking for my Maverick order with long McArthur?
If you're priority 15, we need to get through the others first.
Right, it looks like you are a member. Looks like you're a new member. So if you want to shoot me an email with your information, then we can get you on our member video on Fridays.
Yep.
So, Joe Bezek, we're almost to the end here, guys.
Oh.
Joe Bezek says, is the factory installed rust still included with the F-150, or is it a constraint item?
Installed rust? I think they were saying that some of the ones coming out had rust on them or something.
Oh.
So I think that was I think that's supposed to be a joke.
Okay. I'm just reading.
Yeah.
Chad Kavanaugh. On F-150, do you have any constraint versus order bank? We read that one off.
Yeah, it just said in the scheduling note to just put that as a side that means limited scheduling. It means they just right now they just have a limited number of those parts.
Yeah. All right, Jim Diaz says, how long do I have to pick up my Maverick once it arrives at dealership? Wife wants to schedule a cruise in October, but I don't want to miss my Mav.
With us, you don't have to worry about that. We are not going to do that. We're not one of those dealers. We kind of need to know, hey, if you're hey, when it comes in, you're still wanting it, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
We just need a credit app to start it, but we won't sell it if you contact.
Yeah.
So we've had we had a Bronco come in and we've reached out several emails, phone calls, and everything, text messages for like several weeks before we put it out for sale.
Yeah.
But
like I think we had someone that was like, oh, I'm going to be traveling. And we're like, okay, well, we know that you're traveling, so we get it. We'll be a little bit more understanding.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, we have vehicles been back here a little while. I know we had a Lightning that's been here for over a month on the back. I think they've done all the paperwork and everything. It's so I think they actually live in Kansas City and they want to drive up and get it, but they need to plan their time, and so they just haven't had a chance yet. So we just leave it here. So
yeah.
Yep. Some people if you don't come pick it up by tomorrow, we're gonna sell it.
Yeah. So if you let your salesman know, hey, we're planning on this trip. If it comes in during this time, we still want it, but we may be unreachable during that time. Then when it comes in, they'll wait for you to get back.
And you'll know ahead of time too. If you go ahead and plan that vacation, you're gonna know, a month before it gets here, because you're gonna get an email saying it's been built, right? Yep. And it's shipping out, so you'll have an idea of the range when it's going to be here.
Yeah.
And then if you just let us know ahead of time, we'll know.
Yep. Stephen Edelman says, where can I seek or look up these changes that are happening to the F-150 Lightning manufacturing? Can I wait for parts to be back in to have my truck built?
No. They usually remove those. So when you actually put your order in, like we had some people put in an order in on the Lightning, it automatically was put in with the removals of the smart hits of the onboard scales, the advanced security package, and the heated steering wheel. Not a choice. You can try to put something on it so it doesn't get selected, and that's also a plan. But I'll tell you, it's we haven't seen those become available yet in 2023 since it launched. So you take that opportunity, and sometimes Ford won't. They'll just say, nope, this isn't an option. So but you can try. I mean, some of those things will maybe come in, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right. John Ashton. Did we read that one already? Okay, yep, we read that one. Roderick, I don't think got him. Roderick Quibido, I already have Farm Bureau insurance. Would you mind explaining again how to get the discount on my Maverick, even though it has not been built yet?
I think all you need is that Farm Bureau membership. You need that membership ID number, and I think that's all you need. If you're a Farm Bureau member, I think it automatically shows up, but I don't know, because I'm not a Farm Bureau member. I don't know. I know on Maverick Truck Club, if you go in there and go into Maverick Truck Club and search for Farm Bureau, there's a lot of different posts and threads in there with a lot of people, and you can probably ask a question in there, and that kind of thing. But also, I think all these rewards programs, including Farm Bureau, you go to that website we talked about earlier. What was it? Was it Ford Recognizes You? What did I say earlier?
I don't know. Focus on the chat. Why I rewatch it.
Here. So you want to go to, Ford Recognizes You, the letter U.com. And then you can, Farm Bureau should be on there, and it should go over the information of how to get that. So, and that's going to be available. That website will be available, what did I say, January 30th? I don't know. Anyway, next question.
All right, the 305 caller says, for the trimmer, would putting the cargo management discount package with spray and bed liner and the cargo rails be a constraint?
No, they're within capacity on that. Amazingly, I really thought a lot of people put it on there, and now would be a constraint. I said that, but I'm wrong.
Yep.
So actually, that website should have been live yesterday, so it should be available now. Any other questions, or is that it?
Nope, we have a few more. We have like 2. Peace out with Paul says, I just signed up for the military discount and it was granted. I received a certificate number. I got out in 1976.
Okay, so let me flip over. I think you guys can see this. You see that? All right. So yeah, so there you go. That's how you want to spell that. So Ford recognizes you, letter U.com. And as you can see here, we do have military recognition. We have first responder recognition, college student recognition, and Farm Bureau. So we click on Farm Bureau. So you pick your state, and then you put in your Farm Bureau membership ID and your zip code. And it says, have you already purchased a vehicle? And you would say no or yes. And then you go from there. So pretty cool. Looks pretty simple. So there you go. That's how you do that.
All right.
And then military will be the same way. So you go back. So you just go. They have one main website. Actually, it redirects you. Technically, it is a different website. Why do they do that? I hate when websites do that. Ford, you need to have people actually work with your people that build the websites so they can know that what's easy. Because I don't want to click on these and have 3 different stupid tabs. All right. Anyway, military recognition also. So you put in your zip code, find offer. Oh, I forgot about that for Jeremy and Jolie.
What?
He should get military rebate.
That's right. He should.
That's another $500. Anyway, put it, yeah, and then you have to go and see, sign in with troop ID and that kind of stuff. So there you go. So pretty cool.
Okay.
All in one place instead of Ford salutes those who serve.com.
Yep.
It's all in one place.
Super X says, is the 4K package on the Maverick considered a constraint? Do you know percentage of build for it?
It's not saying it's a constraint.
Okay.
So the only thing the only thing that's on the Maverick for constraints, and really it's not necessarily a constraint, it's saying commodity versus orders. As we mentioned, is luxury package is within its capacity, the trimmer package, trimmer appearance package, sport appearance package, the Copilot 360 package, the driver assistance package, which is your Copilot 360 plus package or assist package, and then your tonneau covers, bed extenders, bed liners are in there, but they're within capacity. You don't have to worry about those unless you want the box load bed liner, which I think is just like a tray at the bottom. I think. Yeah. The cleat tie down kit C, which is the bed rails, protective foam, sunroof, hitch, splash guards. See, so not 4K tow package isn't listed at all. So and that would be up here in the equipment groups. Anyway.
All right. Christian Hildebrandt says, seen people on Maverick Truck Club wondering if switching it to Maverick XL EcoBoost is a good idea from hybrid XLT.
I wouldn't go from an XLT to an XL because they mentioned a while back about not having more XL orders than what they can handle. XLT is the prime trim.
Yep.
So if you want a quick build, XLT is the way to go. If you're gonna make the switch to an EcoBoost, that will move your order date and reset that. And so probably if you're thinking to go hybrid to EcoBoost, that's fine. I would stay XLT though. I wouldn't go to XL.
Mm-hmm. All right, Diamond Baker. Farm Bureau use sign in into Farm Bureau website with created account or username and password. On left side menu, find link to generate certificate, which is submitted to dealer. That's what I had to do. So there you go.
So we saw the end part of that, which was the certificate number that you put in there to get that, but you need to get the certificate number from Farm Bureau's website.
Yep.
Thank you.
King Bobble, I think you missed this question, which I think I may have seen it over here. I'm not sure, but over here in the chat, will the window sticker be updated to remove the camera from F-150 in production? I'm scheduled to be built on Sunday.
Yes, they will do that themselves. They basically said anything that's being built starting the 26th, or maybe it's scheduled. So maybe the ones that are already in production may not. Hold on, let me read that again. This is why on all these memos, I keep a copy of all of them in my Google Docs, because if I ever need to go back, then I have it. But I have it right here in front of me, so let's look at it real quick. Oh, here it is. So certain F-150 trucks will be equipped with the center height stoplight camera removal. Existing F-150 XLT Lariat King Ranch Platinum Limited and Trimmer orders with the optional or standard 360-degree camera package will be built. That have not been built will have the option code added to the order on January 26th. So yes, if it has not been built yet as of January 26th, it will be added to your order, and it will be reflect on the window sticker with a discount of $175. So yes, looks like if yours is being built on Saturday, well, sucks getting it right on that border. Then yes, they will take it, they will remove it on your order and give you, it'll show on your window sticker. Now, when will it show on your window sticker? I don't know, and that might be your question. It may take a little while for it to be on there, but I would say when it goes into production, maybe try looking again at your window sticker, and it might actually show it in there then. But at some point shortly thereof, it will update your window sticker. Yep. But they probably won't update them until the 26th at the earliest. So
I think we are done with the questions.
All right.
Yep. I'm going to close the Q&A.
We're going to close the Q&A. Doesn't mean you can't ask any more questions, but it is 9:20.
Whatever is in your cup, I've been able to smell every time you take a drink.
It
smells like juicy fruit.
All right, it is a Monster, but it's their peach.
Peach rings. That's what it smells like. Just straight up peach rings.
Not as good as G Fuel's peach rings. So, anyway, all right. So I think we've covered all the questions in here, and so thank you guys very much for joining us and sticking around this long. If you have, only 185 people did, so I think our group's getting smaller. That's all right. I do appreciate you guys, and Johnny's been here the whole time. So
yeah.
I don't know where Johnny.
He's had some.
Has he been traveling?
He's in a hotel, so he's been on and off.
Wow.
Hotel reception isn't the best. But
it's cool that he's hanging out with
here.
us instead of watching the TV in his hotel.
Well, I think they're actually looking for a different hotel now.
Oh.
That's what I saw. They didn't.
That's too bad.
Get a good hotel, so now they're looking for something new.
All right. Well, anyway. So, okay. Well, all right. Anything else we want to talk about? Oh, wait. I think there were some pictures that I wanted to show. I showed you that one, but we did get some Mavericks in. If you're curious on what some of them look like, the black appearance package is actually getting pretty close to being constrained. A lot of people are putting them on their orders. So we actually had some arrive recently. So we had a white one with a black appearance package. Actually, that one's going to be available for sale.
Really?
The person that ordered this one ended up getting a Ranger like a month ago or something. A Ranger came in and was able to get his hand on a Ranger, so he did that instead. So that one, this is available. It's a Lariat. It does have the Copilot 360 Assist package. They did remember to put that on there, which a lot of our customers, we actually reached out to them, so it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Black appearance package, though, on a Lariat trim. So you'll see on that, body color door handles with the black mirror caps is usually how that'll be handled on a Lariat trim.
Real quick,
yeah.
the Ford memos are not public, correct?
Correct.
They're not public. They are given to the dealers, and it says on there confidential.
They're not given to the dealers.
No. Ford memos.
And actually, the memos don't say confidential.
No.
But Ford knows we do these videos, so I don't think they have a problem with us discussing it too much. But and then there's an Atlas Blue Lariat also, so body color door handles and black mirror caps. And then we do have behind it is a gray, carbonized gray, and it's actually an XLT. So it has the molded in black door handles, but it'll have the black painted mirror caps because it's a luxury package. So I did figure out that if you have a XLT luxury package, your mirrors will be painted black. If you don't have a luxury package, they'll be the molded in black mirror caps, and your door handles will be whatever they would be for that trim. So anyway, but
Johnny Cars Care says that this is way better than TV.
there you go. So
I would agree, Johnny. With him giving information, and I'm over here in the chat, chatting.
So yeah, but these memos are not. Yeah,
They're only public when they get leaked.
The dealers have access to them. So I have mine set up. I get notifications. I get the emails when a dealer memo goes out, and then I just keep those for the next live stream to go over them. I just like to help the public know what's going on. And what Ford doesn't mind with what I do is I don't actually do what a lot of people do and post those on social media and with no explanation, right? So a lot of times I'll just take the dealer memos in my own words, kind of reword it, or maybe read off some of it, but not the whole thing, and to help educate the customer. So we actually had Ford reach out. The head of marketing, most of you know who that is, for Ford, actually reached out and said, wait a minute, you're talking about scheduling and stuff and all that kind of stuff. And I say a lot of times what I do is I take what other people have been posting and I explain it so customers know what's going on. And then we shared our live stream and such. They watched it and they said, okay. And not only that, but they also sometimes will give us information on things ahead of time too. And as well, because they know what we're doing is helping to educate and explain things and not just put things out there for customers. So so we're very fortunate with that. So again, we're very cautious on what I share in numbers. Sometimes I can't share everything, but on these dealer memos, are the design for these memos, they even tell you in here, like this one, it says, to tell your customers, customers must sign, they tell you, hey, reach out to your customers. So you're our customers. We're reaching out. Right. So anyway, it works out. So other than that, I don't think we have anything else.
No. When you say F-150 isn't getting the rear camera, does that include the Lightning?
This, I believe, they did not mention the Lightning. So they actually will break out the F-150 and Lightning as separate. So this is just on the gas F-150, because if you look, the trims they're talking about are not trims that you see on the Lightning. So they, XLT and Larry you do, but they mentioned King Ranch, they mentioned Limited, they mentioned Tremor. So they're talking about the gas versions, not the Lightning. So.
All right. Let's see. I saw a Del Real. If you're talking about the Mavericks that we have available here at the dealership, we do on our X plan. So, right?
For ordered vehicles.
For ordered vehicles.
If somebody doesn't take one, it's whatever the market value is, and we probably will not honor X plan.
Oh, okay.
Those.
Okay.
Right. Like right now, our Mavericks are over. We actually got an email from a broker today wanting to take any of the Maverick hybrids that we had. They were willing to, they were trying to sell us a Maverick they had hybrid, and they were trying to sell it to us for $11K over.
Yeah. And
we're like, evidently they're trying to catch a dealer sleeping, because $11K isn't the number on a wholesale for a Maverick hybrid right now. So that's not the case, but because that's even above our prices. We would actually lose money if we had done that kind of deal. But yeah, so some of our Mavericks are on there. And the ones that we have right now, we're just testing the market. We don't know what they go for. We know what they're not selling for right now on a Tremor, right? But we do have that black appearance package currently at $5K over. We'll see where that ends up. I don't know if that's the dollar figure or not, but it is a Lariat. It is an EcoBoost Lariat with the black appearance package. So we'll see where that's going to land at for us. It might be somewhere in between. I don't know. I know that last year when we had the EcoBoost available, they were selling quickly at $3,000 over. So we had gotten down to that point where if we priced something at $3,000 over on an EcoBoost, it wasn't lasting a week before it's selling. So we know where it is on an EcoBoost, but with the black appearance package, we don't know. So we're testing it out at $5,000, and we always look at our prices every week. That's what Sarah did today, was reprice vehicles.
Yeah.
And so we'll do the same thing. We'll put that one on the market for the next week. If it doesn't sell, we'll probably bring it down. If we don't have any leads and that kind of internet leads on it and that kind of stuff, we'll probably bring that down. But that's kind of what we look at there. Hybrids, I think we're currently going to be at 7,500 on hybrids. So we'll see. We'll just see. I'm sure that Tremor is going to come down before we sell it, and we'll find the right price, and we'll find out what they're going for on the market. So anyway.
No, I do not. I do not want to sell the Mach 1 at that price.
What are you talking about? It's not that price now. Right?
Is it?
No.
Was that it?
We have 17 Mustangs. Oh my word.
We have some used ones, right?
There it is.
Now it's correct.
Yeah. I see 57785. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Just kidding. But yeah, our website does. That's what's cool about our website. It does fix pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, all right. If we don't have anything else, chit chat. Love the conversation. Otherwise, I don't think I have any other images to talk about. But yeah, so thank you guys very much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Yeah.
Facebook Live on Thursday. Don't forget about that. And of
And
course,
we're live on Friday.
of course, members will see you live on Friday. And don't forget to be looking for that special member show lot walk that we have for the members. And
Someone did mention that you hadn't done a live walk or a member lot walk in a few weeks, and that was because he went to
I did one
St.
Saturday.
Louis.
I did one Saturday
He did one
in the
Saturday.
snow.
In the snow.
In the snow.
But
with
that
my-
Saturday that he missed was
yeah, I've only missed that one.
that one, and it's getting posted it got posted today.
Yeah, you might check back. If you're in the members, you can always, don't forget, you can find the member content by going to the membership go to our YouTube channel and hit that membership, and you'll see the most recent posts will be up there, and then move their way down, and you'll notice the lot walk from Saturday will be on there. So anyway, yep, you can always go back and see any of those. All right, thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, don't forget, stay positive.
I do the last one.
Oh, be kind to one another.
And be kind to yourself.
We'll see you guys later.